What's up, guys? Subscriber Evil Eddie made this music and basically this like background thing too. I'm kind of using it to let people join in the room. I need you guys to get lit for this one. This one you're going to want to be kind of lit for. Or definitely have an open mind, I guess. So what I want to get into tonight, it's called culture as your operating system. The video itself is called culturing is your operating system. I'm calling it culture as your operating system because I want to do a little bit of a different take on it. And what's up to everybody in the chat too? I've got like a dick ton of subscribers somehow, like really fast. So I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I don't, you know, remember who the people are in here and stuff too. And, you know, help always show up to the live streams and stuff. Because the live streams, I can really get like the view hours up. So, and we can go over some cool stuff. So, I think just to keep it light, I'm going to do a police video first, just to kind of get things going. And then but I want you to get lit for this one, because for the next one, you're going to want to be kind of like lit, I guess, and have, you know, so we'll start off with this one first. This one, but I'm not going to do a bunch of body cam tonight. Man dresses as clown versus the police.
You look like a clown. No shit, I am a clown, stupid. I've been a clown since I was bad.
On March 24th, 2025, officers responded to a call about a man dressed as a clown who was trespassing at a plaza. They advised that the man had previously been trespassing on the property, but returned, reportedly yelling to himself and loitering without purpose.
Don't go anywhere, Chris. You're not free to leave.
Yeah, I know it's not free to leave. I'm going.
No, you're not free to leave. You're under arrest now. Put your stuff down.
Watch it. Rob me?
Put your stuff down.
I know you're supposed to put your stuff down. Fuck off. Fuck off. No, fuck off. I'll just leave.
Put the fuck on the ground.
This is crazy.
Not safe. Tell me not safe. Get me fucking now. Turn over now.
Holy crap. This is like Ronald McDiddler or something here. What the heck is this? Yeah, it is kind of like Ronald McDonald. Crazy. I'll put the StreamYard link in. As well in a minute.
Turn over now.
Fuck off.
Turn over now.
Fuck you.
Turn over.
Ah, God damn you. Ah. Give me your other arm.
Fuck!
Give me your other arm.
How? You got a tongue on my face, stupid ass. Shit, I know you're gonna fucking
The
run.
way that guy just said stupid ass, we know he says the hard R like a bunch.
Anyway. Fuck, faggot. Should treat you like a fucking big pig.
How do you turn this piece of crap off?
I'm surprised this gentleman wasn't listening to Beethoven or Mozart or something. You see how people always listen to this like low level music and stuff like that? This is insane. Clowns are kind of scary though, and like strangely demonic. And he has a green bike. So I don't know, but he also does have the right to be in public and dress like that as well, too.
You got anything else on you I need to know about?
None of your fucking business.
All right, well, stand up for me.
No. You gotta make me stand up. You're dragging me to the car, shoot the fuck, boy.
Hey, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
God, you just say that for God's chance since the day you started.
Turn around. Turn around. This guy's throwing himself.
Fuck, chairs. One's called bird right there.
Okay. Have a seat.
There's a such thing. Hey, watch your wrist.
Clown world.
Motherfucker.
You look like a clown.
No shit, I am a clown, stupid. I've been a clown since I was back. No, we're not. Juggalos developed. The juggalos were developed by clowns to begin with.
Okay, so it's the insane clown posse.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the clown business too, and they don't go fuck around with kids.
I got you.
I raised two beautiful daughters. You best sat there and stand one of my daughters.
Jesus. Wow. So I actually wanted to go into a serious topic tonight, but I just want to like watch a video first and kind of let some people like come in here and stuff before I just like it's kind of a heavy topic. Not a heavy topic, it's a deep topic. So it's hard to just jump into it right away.
I was to a fucking goddamn rapist house. That's why I don't trust you motherfuckers. I don't care if you take me to jail, you can't trust me for nowhere.
Yeah, we can.
Bullshit.
Right.
Fuck you.
No way, you took a fighting stance with me, man. I play around. You got another round?
Yeah, well,
Meanwhile, a ton of broads dress like clowns every day and they don't get treated like that.
That's our clean outfit.
This shit's actually like scary. Look at it. He's on a Huffy bike. So here's the thing. This is important. So I used to ride BMX and go to the skate park and had a paper route, a bunch of stuff like that. And I really liked it. But if you see anyone who's not at least at a skate park or something, and this bike would suck for that, but like who doesn't actually ride like BMX, you see anyone riding like one of these bikes, it's like they're like basically like a heroin addict or up to no good. You know, a mountain bike is a different story, but like anyone on this, it's like they're pretty much like a heroin addict or you know, this guy probably was too.
yeah.
That's all he wears now.
Gotta have
He's
clean
getting you a
clothes.
new one. I ripped the shit out of that one.
I believe I copy 143
Well, you have plenty more.
Jeez, I was only seeing you both.
Dude, this is like scary almost. You've seen the Joker movie and stuff. People are gonna like. Here's another thing that will happen too. People are gonna start acting crazy because they're getting to a boiling point, and this will kind of help me segue into really what I want to talk about and go over. So, but this is like, it's actually just boggles the mind.
Melbourne, DTS on County. Good.
Oh, nice.
Reference to call 1515 Sarno by the County Commission Officer.
Thank her for that.
I was gonna say, somebody finally got something from it.
Hey man, I wear those. Yep. Butane.
Just a direct transport into the paperwork up there.
Seems like an awful lot of like butane and shit. And I guarantee you this is somewhere like out west. Yeah, this is actually crazy. Yeah. I was actually trying to be wicked serious tonight. Now I'm just watching some clown idiot right away.
That is really brutal.
They won't take them. They won't take them.
They won't take them.
They won't take them. So they won't be direct.
Let's try to get him.
Did you hear that? Other places won't take him, but he also, I don't think really did anything illegal, to be honest. He was resisting though,
Look at if he's acting up,
and he probably was acting like an idiot.
and then we'll
Clearly.
take him right up.
For all the food in the grocery bags, so you just toss it.
This
It's tablet.
Tablet's right here.
Hey,
You want to see that camera?
yeah. Does
Somebody
it work?
bumped it.
Or if
Problem
any
is,
witnesses
they
were
are
inside?
bumped. Somebody bumped the camera, and Randy's our guy too. So it, yeah, see, it's somebody bumped it up, so we have to fix it.
And where it all
Yeah,
happened over
right
here.
here. Yeah. So somebody took a broom or something and bumped the camera up.
Mm.
We just noticed it the other day.
It must have been it must have been a drunk.
Yeah, right. Very tall.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's. But
Okay.
yeah. So we have to lower that again.
Does it have audio to it or no? Okay, that's all right. Who's probably somebody
People
who
here,
witnessed it?
you can ask. Yeah, you want to talk to him?
Sure.
How you doing? Would anybody that was a witness want to talk?
This sucks. I don't want to drink at that place. I don't know. It might be kind of funny, but so if you're at the bar here and some lady brings a cop in to say something, just don't get involved. You know, unless you saw something very unethical happen or want to. But I would say just, you know, try not to really be involved.
To them? They watched it. Anybody like to be?
Who had the best view?
We do. There you go.
I was gonna say I did.
Yeah.
Those ladies. That's what happens when we're in our fishbowl.
Yeah.
Well, Liberty, when this guy had the bag, he got a bag, but he just kept pulling and 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 pulling like a fucking clown.
I get it. Have you ever met Christopher before?
No.
Yeah.
He looks like the guy that stands at I-95 and picks
I'm just
trash.
looking at the handsome cop right there.
Which one?
She's drunk hitting on a cop. See what happens now? Some 304 is like hitting on a cop. This guy is over here trying to get blow or something. And now this cop is going to come in and fuck it all up.
Oh, I'll let him know. He'll like that. He'll like
He's
that.
definitely on something.
Oh yeah.
Like normally like.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not having a good day today.
I know.
But yes, Christopher is the Palm Bay clown. So
Is he? Oh. He's a probably what?
clown?
Does he cause any problems with them?
Usually not. No, but today he's having.
See how they're just like, oh, he's the Palm Bay clown or Palm Bay. Maybe that's what you said. Palm Bay. He's the Palm Bay clown. They're like, oh, well, like, how is that even a thing?
Yeah, yep. So, you both were seated here?
Right here, talking to himself, and he did just being crazy. He started getting a little rowdy, and he took him down.
So when you say rowdy, what did he do?
I can tell you because I was hyped. Yeah,
Oh, great. Yeah. Now, see how all the women just come around and just want to start yapping to a cop too. Like they already took care of the problem pretty much.
he was right there. Hyped up.
I was out there having a cigarette.
Yeah.
He was just talking like crazy, and they got fucking body cams, motherfucker. They got fucking. I only been out 3 months. They got body cams, motherfucker. I don't care what shit. And he was just going crazy.
Yeah.
Craziness. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy here ain't bad either.
What so when he like got crazy, what did he like? Could you describe his stance or anything?
He's just talking to himself the whole time. Yes.
Very fidgety,
Okay.
can't sit still. Just screaming, talking loud.
Yeah.
Say that. Talking very loud. And
Did he present any weapons or anything?
No.
Definitely a mental health issue.
I was trying to.
Where do you guys want to guess what state this is from? I'm thinking like Washington or somewhere like out west like that, because I feel like in the East Coast it'd be like, what even is this? Is a little clown show, and we don't. It's it's crazy.
If maybe I didn't know if he was talking to himself or maybe on the cell phone, and I didn't want to look at him because I didn't want to draw attention, but I couldn't see.
And one thing about this might be able to bring into our neck to Clayton puts Florida. Yeah, maybe in Florida. Yeah, they can have those sometimes transient types and stuff like that. They can just like wear a bathing suit all day and get completely lit. Yeah, Florida has a lot of that, which I always forget about that. Guys, Florida has a lot of people. I think it has like definitely over 10 million people. That's a lot.
Thing, but apparently he did have one. But it was real off kilter the whole entire time he was out there.
Did he make any sort of like aggressive stance or anything like that?
Not until the cops came and grabbed him.
Okay.
And then one got him, and the other one flew down.
Yeah.
Taser.
No,
Sometimes it's
Yeah. But I want you guys to get lit because the next part will be, or you don't have to be lit, but be like open-minded, I guess.
sometimes it's easier just to go
and it's not for me to the thing I want to talk about. It's not for me to try to like change your mind from thinking a different way. It's just showing something that I think is actually pretty interesting.
hands on because you don't know what they're wearing or anything like that. So
Circles of care, here we come.
No, he was just he's tweaking.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say he's tweaking.
Could I get your name?
Sure.
What is it?
Ex-mother-in-law of Ryan Austin. Do you know Ryan?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. He was married to my daughter.
Date of birth?
Shut up! I'm not giving that.
Social security number?
Shut the hell up.
Last four.
What's a good phone number
Shut up.
for you?
Yeah.
And if I were to pull up your driver's license, your address is correct on it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
What's going on? Cat's off. This is bullshit.
No.
Why?
So here's what's gonna happen, okay? You were out there with a sergeant who was my supervisor. He was the guy with the white hair. Right?
Was there another guy?
This guy is kind of scary because he is very aggressive. And sometimes these people who have like nothing to lose are very dangerous because they just don't give a shit. So and they kind of like live for stuff like this in a way. You put Delaware. I can actually look in the video. When I say out west, it's hard to say. I'll say like Northern California, Washington, Oregon, like something like that. More like Pacific Northwest. So let's take a look at that. Man, actually, I'll just play it. I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, no, not the tall guy. The other shorter guy.
The older guy with
The older, shorter guy with white hair.
I spoke with him, guy.
He's a sergeant.
Huh?
Yes. So.
What does a bird drive police report fucking arrest me under?
Hold on. So what's going to happen now, and I want your full cooperation, okay? What's going to happen now is I'm going to take the seatbelt off. We're going to walk willingly in through this door. We're going to proceed to book you. All right? After that, we're going to take your photo. And then we're going to put you in a cell. So when we put you in the cell, hold on. It's a temporary space. You're going to be taken out at some point. We're going to drive you up to the jail. So.
Well, for what? It's a bird drive police report, you asshole.
Hold on. Do you want to talk to someone else? Because someone else has to come and talk to you.
I'd rather talk to the chief of police.
It ain't going to be the chief. It's going to be another sergeant.
He thinks it's a freaking Batman movie. Guys, people are really going to start to go crazy because this guy here, he's like an expression of our society. Like he's an aberration of our society. Like we have created this. It might just be these little crazy, but like we have also kind of created this too. Through, you know, a ton of psychiatric or just no mental health care and stuff like that. So just think of that.
Who's acting lieutenant? Okay.
Acting lieutenant means you're fake lieutenant?
No, he's just acting in place of the lieutenant who is on vacation today. So he's a very experienced, been here for a longer time sergeant.
Does he have
He's my sergeant supervisor.
Let's hear. Does he have a degree in psychology to handle people like me?
I assume so.
No, I don't go for assume so.
So do you want to talk to that person who's going to come here and talk to you?
Can you just take me to mental health instead? It worked way better. I can go talk to
you. Can ask him about that.
See, this guy might actually really want, you know, help too. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It kind of is going to go into what I'm talking about, how it's funny because it's kind of the opposite of what I want to talk about, but also kind of will highlight what I want to talk about too, which is like, you know, culture is your operating system, or culture as your operating system. What that kind of means is like the society and the culture and everything that you live in is basically like a computer's operating system, like either Microsoft or Windows, or like the kind of what structures everything. And sometimes people like this want to be like a disruptor to that, like he, in a way, and he's just crazy maybe too.
All right, that'll work.
Do you want to talk to him?
Yeah, but I want to get out of his car first.
Okay, so we're going to take you out of the car, and then you're going to go into a cell. The minute you start acting up, it's not going to go well, because then you're not going to talk to the guy, and we're just going to do it the way we're going to do it, okay? So I need your full cooperation.
Instead of telling me a joke, you take me in circles of cat.
I'm not telling you that.
Would you please?
No.
Why?
Because again, you're going to talk to. I'm not sitting here and arguing with you about this. All right. I'm telling you what's going to happen. A through Z. And I'm telling you A through Z. Okay.
You're breaking the law yourself, but believing in a bird drive police.
Are you going to cooperate?
I'm trying to fucking get you to help me out.
Can you step out here?
This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. You don't need to.
Why did they have this old chick cop here? I mean, this guy is dangerous because he has nothing to lose. Some of these people can go really crazy and have a lot of energy.
You to help me out.
Can you step out here?
This is bullshit.
I'll show you what I mean. Her. I think it's a woman. I don't know actually now. But if it's just the two of them, I mean, this guy can kind of overpower them, to be honest.
This is absolute bullshit. You don't
I'm
need to
just
have your
holding
hand
you
on
so that way you don't fall and crack your face.
No, I'm not cracking my score.
Well, in case you fall and trip.
This is 2012 friggin' stars, man. For 2012, and now I got a helmet overhead.
All right. You all right to get up here and stick me?
You guys already have it empty my pocket.
I know, but they gotta do it again.
Why do you gotta keep asking the same
He
question?
does, because he wasn't out there with you.
Oh.
This is completely crazy. This is just completely crazy. Yeah, I think this guy watched this Joker movie too many times. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is sort of this. Yeah, exactly, Clayton. That's kind of what I was trying to say. This is like, this is a representation of aspect of our society in a sense. Where's the Hamburglar? I don't know. He was too big to ride that bike. You can't give a shit when you're walking around looking like him. Yeah, definitely. For sure. For sure. See, even how this maniac, crazy clown Joker guy is being more compliant than just some wine drunk chick or someone who, like, you know what I mean, is always resisting. This guy actually didn't really resist that much now that he's in here.
Shut the fuck about him, Thompson. You're fucking you're
Maybe not.
fault anyway. Stupid ass. I'm sorry, I was talking.
No, you're good. You're good.
But he might just really be like, you know, have really bad schizophrenia or something. So one other thing that contributes to this is like all the chemicals we have in food and water and drinks and not enough minerals and stuff like that. Like a lot of people who are schizophrenics and stuff have heard like something called niacin, which is just basically vitamin B3 that helps like a ton of things. Even some other countries, I think B vitamins are basically prescribed instead of like what we use for like drugs is here. So sometimes these like people, if they don't have a little bit, they actually do just go full blown crazy. Yeah, he knows that he's messed up. 304s have no accountability. Yeah, so they resist to the last second, to the bitter end.
You hear anything about radios chirping?
Yeah, I know some radio talk. Boy, he should have just sat there.
He might really have voices in his head and stuff like that. So this is a person who is like kind of possessed in a different way a little bit. Mostly women act like a demon when they're getting arrested. And remember how many times I said that? Like, here comes the demon coming out. This guy just doesn't even have he thinks like he just told someone to shut the F up who like wasn't even there. And he was clearly pissed about it. So he is actually kind of, I think he actually does kind of like want to be better, but he's close.
He told me to Kid Rock. Instead of fucking arresting me.
We did that the first time.
Call me twice the league. I'll show up for y'all show up for what? Y'all.
Mr.
And they're still gonna leave the thing on?
I'm sorry, what was it? Jesus?
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna look right here.
No,
Don't call me
His name's
government.
Jesus.
don't call you.
Look right here.
You're not calling him a government name anymore.
What was it? Crazy Jesus?
Wicked Jesus.
Wicked Jesus. Can you look right here? It's gonna be a bright light. That's the camera for you. All right.
Mm.
Can I take this
Definitely not Gnostic Jesus.
off?
No.
I gotta take it off for the picture.
No.
It's gonna come off of you at some point. So it's either now or
No.
later.
Later.
Okay.
Just get your word on. I want the something Google anyway.
Okay. So this doesn't go to Google.
The size. Fellow jugglers pretty set there keep up with their TikToks and Facebook and Instagrams and all those.
This guy's probably gonna start like saying real shit.
He's gonna sit there and be checking me out anyway. I'm pretty sure my juggalo homeboy that I was supposed to be hanging out with before y'all sat there, I'm pretty sure I trespassed and bring that property said arrest the best of pleasure at a police report. Manager of property or not. Stuff's illegal. It's trespassing. Except I tried to prove them by my blind face. I ain't got a sign cover. I have no way of.
So after this is over, we'll get on to a serious topic, not this like clown show, but that lets some people get in here and everything.
I want the cuffs on me.
They have to come off.
Oh, no. I want the cuffs on me.
All right, Mr. Ball, we're gonna go back to the car, all right?
Do I still get to speak to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're just gonna wait in the car now. Instead of that nice big room that has a bathroom.
That is bullshit. It's serious bullshit. Everyone's going, got time to say, I know
Hold on. Pull him back out. Hold on. I gotta pull the seatbelt out so that way I can buckle you back in.
I ain't got both me back.
Well, I'm buckling you back in because this is my
So this just must be maybe even some type of local eccentric or something like that. He's not really getting in any trouble.
car and I don't want something bad happening to you, okay?
Ain't nothing bad gonna happen.
I know, but
I want to stick to a doctor.
I got you.
Jay ain't got no fucking doctor in there. No quack.
You're gonna be able to do that.
The Jay ain't got no mental health, real mental health
I know.
doctors.
It's shitty, but it's minimal.
Leave the door open, please. Y'all. Damn. I sprayed some fucking backpack. So on what?
Your Sprite?
Yeah. Y'all got a soda machine here?
No, sir.
Damn.
There was a water machine in the cell that you didn't want to go in there.
I'm tired of drinking.
The suspect was charged with trespassing and resisting an officer with violence and was booked into Brevard County Jail on a $5,500 bond.
Brevard, huh? Okay, now I want to get into. I don't want to watch that. I want to get into what I really wanted to be talking about. That was just to let some people get in here. So thanks for showing up, everybody. I appreciate it. And this video is more about a concept, about conceptual thinking, thinking in terms of paradigms and whatnot. So this is a guy, his name is Terrence McKenna, and he was pretty popular in the 90s and stuff. Studied like psychedelic drugs and whatnot. But I just want you to take a look at this. So what he's going to be kind of suggesting here is that, and that's like called the ayahuasca route, I believe. But what he's trying to suggest is that basically your brain is kind of like a computer, and this can be basically sort of an eraser in a way. Perhaps a defragger, but it can also kind of mess things up too. These images are not like anything that's supposed to be.
You are not.
I don't want YouTube to take it down.
Off your clothes.
That are not meant to be like symbolic.
Like,
it's not meant to have like symbolism and stuff per se, as far as I know. So he's basically trying to suggest that, like, and I think he was kind of right for the time, but I think now, like, I want you to look at how now Trump and other people have made some psychedelics start to become like more acceptably used and stuff like that. They're easier to get, which is cool and stuff. But the reason why I think it's a little more dangerous now is they can, the rate at which you are programmed is so much higher that when you erase a little bit of it, it actually will just make the new stuff in even more, in a sense. And once we play the video, we'll elaborate that. But I might need to even pause. I'm gonna be pausing this video like a shit ton.
What kind of circumstance are we caught in, and what kind of structures, if any, can we put in place to assuage the pain and accentuate the glory and the wonder that lurks waiting for us in this very narrow slice of time between the metaphor, this phrase, culture is your operating system.
Yeah. So remember, Terrence McKenna, I believe, went to like Harvard and stuff. He went to Ivy League schools. He was kind of an elite who could kind of be like a trustafarian and get high all the time too. So sometimes they pontificate a little too much. Now is where we're going to get into the real deal that will be easier, because some of the other imagery can make it a little confusing. Just let me check the chat here. Yeah, exactly. Like some of these, yeah. So this is a new one. See, this is a new thing that I haven't even heard of, or I've heard of it a little bit, but I haven't tried it or anything like that. So, that's a great example, Laughing Man. Yeah, this was kind of a mushroom guy. So we're going to see. And by the way, I'm not saying like I agree with the guy fully or disagree. I just wanted you to look at, I wanted you to have an open mind. But once it gets to right here, this is where I should have actually played the video, because that other stuff is kind of, this is what's the more important part, in my opinion.
Only a metaphor, this phrase, culture is your operating system.
And this is what I wanted to critique on, was this, but I put culture as your operating system, and the as is different. So in a lot of ways, like the brain or the mind is like plastic. You can like mold it certain ways, and traumas and certain things kind of like form the way that it like orients itself as well. So but largely the culture tells you what to like and what is good and tries to tell you, instead of you basically like creating your own and doing what you want to do. It's more like you better get in line rather than there could be other things. Laugh, they're talking about psychedelic drugs, mushrooms, acid, things of this nature. There's a lot of other ones. There's other ones too. That's kind of what they're suggesting that these can do.
This is probably with
and why would one want to do that? Well, the current one is just a bunch of, you know, an example of what he was saying, what is a good thing to be erased, would be like a bunch of Liberty Mutual ads and knowing about that fucking stupid emu and all a bunch of stuff like that. Like a lot of what we see and know about is just kind of like noise and bullshit, and always has like an agenda for things. So a lot of that basically occupies a lot of your mind without you really knowing it, because it's just, you know, forced on you. You know, like, why do we know so much about CNN and Anderson Cooper, or like, you know, Catch Me Outside, Ho, and a bunch of things like that? Some of that is just kind of pure nonsense some of the time. Those might not be the best examples, but think of like, you know, the Liberty Mutual commercials, the Emu and Doug, shit like that.
Pharmacological agent. You think of some while I have a drink of water.
He's suggesting this is how you like unbrainwash yourself, which I'm suggesting, yeah, kind of, but the culture moves so fast. Like the rate of programming goes so quick. Within a couple of days of being on a smartphone and stuff, you're going to be like pretty much right back where you started.
Psilocybin is an excellent disc cleaner.
And I'm not advocating you do. Crack or something else.
Erasure will immediately be downloaded, unstuffed, bin hexed, implemented, installed, run, and you will find yourself with an entirely different.
No, it won't. Well, I haven't done it, but you know, it can't. But what they're kind of suggesting is that this we're programmed like our brain and our mind is like a biological computer basically, and it's always got all this input coming into it. And if you keep giving the same input all the time, then the reality is always the same. But when it happens on a massive scale, like a culture and stuff, like the only thing you can kind of do is do like some homesteading and stuff. But like this thing is probably like, I don't know, 15 years old or so. So that might have been okay then, but the way that it is right now, it's just like, no, you can't. He's kind of saying like that these drugs will be an escapism. It's like, well, that may escape temporarily and delete some of the old files, but like all the same input is still coming in and stuff. If that's kind of going to be my take on it, that it still is coming in and stuff. So you don't need to like do it in the first place. So I'm saying actually probably don't do it.
Head. Now, shamans have always known, though they may not have used the kind of language I'm using here. Shamans have always known this trick. What trick? It has two facets. First of all,
That's Red Door.
that culture is the operating system. That's all it is. And that the operating system can be wiped out and replaced by something else. So, in essentially, what's going on among shamans and those who resort to them for curing and
Well, this guy was like an intellectual saying like this is how you clean up the problem, and I don't know if that's really working.
counseling and
The whole world is still kind of headed the way it's headed, and we have more people doing this stuff than ever right now. You know what I mean? Why do you think they have all of a sudden like, oh, we have like a ketamine station thing, but this is part of your healing, but it's healing is a journey, so you have to keep doing it all the time, you know. So it's basically like an addiction, like, well, this is part of my healing process, I just need to keep doing it all the time. It's like, well, you're not really healed, so you're just doing it more.
is somebody's running a slightly more advanced operating system than the customer. The shaman is in possession of certain facts about plants, about animals, about healing, about human psychology, about the local geography, about mojo of many
Well, it should be about like truth, not a bunch of bullshit too.
sorts that the client is not aware of. The client is running culture light. The shaman paid for the registered and licensed version of the software and is running a much heavier version of the software than the client. I think we should all aspire to make this upgrade. It's very important that you have all the bells and whistles on your operating system.
And part of what that really means, it's not really like you're upgrading something, it's more like you're deprogramming out some crap. So you have more awareness over your own mind, over your own life, and what the system does. Like a lot of what he's talking about is more just like your perception of systems at play, which is our society, which means laws, institutions, banking, media, etc., hospitals, all that stuff.
On you. Well, what's wrong with the operating system that we have? Consumer capitalism 5.0 or whatever it is. Well, it's dumb. It's retro. It's very non-competitive. It's messy. It wastes the environment. It wastes human resources. It's inefficient. It runs on stereotypes. It runs on a low sampling rate, which is what creates stereotypes. Low sample rates make everybody appear alike, when in fact the glory is in everyone's differences. And the current operating system is flawed. It actually has bugs in it that generate contradictions. Contradictions such as we're cutting the earth from beneath our own feet. We're poisoning the atmosphere that we breathe. This is not intelligent behavior. This is a culture with a bug in its operating system that's making it produce erratic, dysfunctional, malfunctional behavior. Time to call a tech. And who are the techs? The shamans are the techs.
Well, in his opinion. Now the techs are really just, probably like tech people in AI. So, yeah, I don't know if that video made sense to anybody or not. I know it's a little bit out there, but it's more, I want you to think of it as like the programming aspect of it, how we're just, whether we like it or not, we're programming for this. And here's another example of something that's like an example of a bad thing he was talking about. This is a commercial that was in Canada, and I'll just let it play.
Breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see bubbles. I see the ocean. I see music. Even now, as I seek help to end my life, there is still so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it.
So that ad is for a place in Canada where you can like delete yourself, basically, and see how they're trying to make it seem like a beautiful thing, and like there's so much beauty to see and stuff like that. Let's watch it again. This is a real thing too. This is a real thing. I think they realized the ads were too much and stopped doing this. This is maybe like a year and a half, 2 years old.
Breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see bubbles. I see the ocean. I see music. Even now, as I seek help to end my life, there is still so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it. See it.
You see how they make them dress like angels too?
Still so much beauty.
Hang on a
Oh, as I
all the people are dressed like ominous angels, almost like
seek help
members
to
or
end
something.
my life,
They're just a whole bunch here. This is like your angels with you or something.
there is
like
still
that.
so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it.
So yeah, I'm just putting that out there because that's like an example of something they'll program you with, like a machine, like, you know, deleting yourself and kind of like getting street credit for it somehow, and like you act like you made an achievement before you even did it somehow, like and it's going to be like near the ocean and everything. It's probably you probably go to a place like in like a strip mall and delete yourself is really probably what it will be like. You know, it's absolutely crazy. I'm going to put the StreamYard link out if anyone would like to join in. And I also wanted to take a look at this right here. I check in with this guy now and then.
So you're going to destroy your society with this.
Yeah, it's just going to deteriorate if you're already having an unthinking society to begin with, and that's what
This is called artificial intelligence, authentic incompetence. And he has a point. And I've been using AI more to make like a couple things on YouTube and stuff. So I've been using AI definitely more. But my position is still the same on it. I think the way that I'm using it, though, it's not something that like, you know, I'm actually using it to create. That's another thing. Like a lot of times AI isn't really used to create per se. Let's check in with this dude and see what he has to say for a little bit.
lack of the AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you subjected yourself to that, then class it's finished.
So you already
and don't listen to anything that Broad had to say. I don't even know why she was speaking.
Imposed a level of mediocrity on your population to where AI actually seems like it's not mediocre, actually seems is actually people are impressed by it because it's able to do what mediocre minds are able to do. And now that's going to make even those mediocre minds not be able to do what they could do before. So, I mean, the quality level of everything will just go down and down and down and down and down. Meanwhile, in other places, they don't act like that.
Mm-hmm.
China isn't acting like that.
Yeah, contrary to,
for example, Russia takes education seriously.
Mm-hmm.
China takes education seriously. In the global South, generally, they take education very seriously. It's deadening.
Yeah.
You're killing people.
Yeah.
You're really killing people. You're killing what it is to be a human because you don't value it anyway. Because this whole society just views you as a resource.
Uh-huh.
The whole society only views you as a resource. Human beings only as a resource.
Exactly. when they're making these data centers and stuff like that, it's going to be soon like, well, like now your like the water that you use and the energy to heat your home and stuff, that's actually messing up our need for more energy for our data centers and stuff. So like you kind of did your part, but now, you know, we're going to need a little bit less slaves here.
And so therefore, you can be replaced.
Yeah, sure.
Because we only see you as a function.
Mm-hmm.
The society only sees human beings as a function to the economy. So if that function can be replaced, then you are superfluous.
And
that's what like downsizing companies will be. Seagrip can even come on and say that he said that sometimes with AI, it takes some jobs away, but then one guy maybe has to do like 2 or 3 jobs, or the demands need to be higher because the AI is like a multiplying effect. It's like, I view AI as kind of like a lever. It works both ways, but in the end, evil people kind of, they, you know, no one's really been stopping them. I'll put it that way.
I think this sensibility is also lost when you just become over reliant on AI, because you don't even know how people speak anymore. You don't. Yeah. You don't even have that sense of, you know. Again, it's a type of sensibility, you know, to detect like deviance.
But
well, AI will also it will decrease diversity in some ways, because everybody's going to start acting more like a unified algorithm, which one algorithm promotes the most.
You know, this is about sort of originality and independence, or individuality.
That being said, like and subscribe if you're new.
And we were already talking about how America specifically, through mass media, has already very much destroyed that. Because like if you go on the social media and you see, you know, actual people, individual people.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of social media, I made a Facebook account, and I haven't really had. I somehow had Facebook. It said it in 2022, but I think maybe I did it to send like one thing or something. But as far as I know, I haven't had a Facebook account in all of, you know, the 2020s. Maybe even a little bit before that. And even when I did have one, I only had it for like a month or so. So I never really, I always tried to stay out of it. So, and I never really had a YouTube or even had a YouTube, thing to subscribe to, like a name and stuff. Not even like making videos, just like having a YouTube account basically, or Google account. So, you know, I'm new to this, some of it.
Doing their posts on social media, they're trying to sound like somebody. They're trying to talk like somebody. They're trying to look like somebody. They're trying to act like somebody, someone who's on a TV show. Their humor is from, they learned it from a sitcom. They're trying to act like this character from this show or that character from that show. And there's these speech patterns that they use that are directly from sitcoms. The speech patterns are directly from sitcoms. The facial expressions, the gestures, the everything. None of this, you don't know how you talk. I don't know who you really are, and neither do you. You don't know what you really sound like. You don't know what your real voice sounds like. You know, you don't know what your real sense of humor is, because you've never.
A lot of people don't like know what someone actually looks. Look at filters. Women using filters all the time. That's a function of AI. So it's like you don't even get to see what they authentically look like at all, and they don't really want to show it to you either. That's the problem. No one wants to show themselves authentically as they are, warts and all, so to speak. It's strange because now it's kind of takes like some courage to do, because you don't always put your best foot forward and everything. You know what I mean? With social media, everybody's kind of putting up a facade of who they are a little bit to look better, seem better, smile more, other things like that. And it's just not quite authentic. And why is authenticity important? So, okay, who gives a shit if it's not authentic? Why is authenticity important? because it's closer to truth in a way. That's why it's important. You can't be, I don't know. I don't really quite know how to describe that, but I think you get what I mean.
All you're doing is copying what you see, you know, and it reminds me of something that actually, this is really a different kind of a live stream today. We're not talking geopolitics. Miles Davis, the trumpeter, jazz trumpeter, although he disliked the term jazz. He was in an interview and someone was asking him about, like, for new people that he works with, musicians that he works with, does he require them to know, like, the history of jazz and to, like, know his earlier works and Charlie Parker and, you know, Thelonious Monk and so on, all of these, and he said, no, the lazy ones can play like them. The lazy ones try to play like the way we used to play. But you shouldn't actually listen to a lot of records if you want to be a good musician. If you want to be original, you shouldn't listen to a lot of records. You shouldn't be familiar
because they digitize it and smooth it out and everything. I bet that's what he's going to say.
You're with a lot of music if you want to be original, because you got to find what you do, you know, and that's really true. And not just about music, about yourself, about your voice, about your opinion.
Don't be an NPC. Be your own person. You know, that's kind of what he's saying. Have a soul. Be your own person. Don't just be like, yeah, I like Tom Brady and Dave and Buster. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying. You make something.
It's about the way.
Make something. Create something. Do art. Do, you know, create.
Your expression, the way you express yourself, the way you articulate yourself, your humor, you know, like we really lost something in terms of individuality and originality. People really lost something with the invention of mass media.
Another way of saying it too, like individuality to people right now is like a skin in a video game. It's an avatar.
And then it became like, I mean, when I was a kid, we just had 3 channels, and they were operating from this time to that time. So it wasn't like 24 hours a day all the time with hundreds of channels available. We just had 3 channels from, like, you know, 5 in the morning to midnight, something like that.
Okay.
So you know, and then in my mother's generation or my grandfather's generation, you only ever see actual people. Your only interactions with people are actual people. You know, you don't watch TV.
There wasn't Zoom calls, you know, things like this.
You don't have it. Doesn't exist. Maybe you go see a movie a couple of times a year.
Not that this is all bad either. You know, I've been enjoying AI.
A year.
And if I get enough subscribers, you know, and I need that data storage. I'm just kidding. I still don't want to build.
You know what I mean? So you never pick up this habit. It's an I don't want to say involuntary, but it's like by osmosis. You absorb what you are exposed to at all times. And so you start to act like the people you see on TV. You start to talk like the people you see on TV.
Exactly. This is pretty important, guys. This guy really says some powerful stuff sometimes. Like, you listen to that again.
I don't want to say involuntary, but it's like by osmosis. You absorb what you are exposed to at all times. And so you start to act like the people
without knowing it too, knowingly or unknowingly.
You see on TV. You start to talk like the people you see on TV. You know? Yeah. It used to be.
And that's why you want someone good like me helping you in the end times. I'm going to help make you laugh and show you real shit.
You act like your dad.
Yeah.
You act like your uncle. You know, the people who are really around.
Also, another thing that relates to this too is that you're kind of like an amalgamation of kind of the 5 people who you're around the most, and or groups of people you're around the most. So you actually sort of become like them. So in some ways, you actually want to be not the smartest person in the room and make the most money and stuff like that per se, because then they lift a rising tide lifts all ships or something is a saying. You get a little bit of that effect. So it doesn't mean if you're just around those people you automatically become that way per se, but it definitely can have an osmosis effect, and that's what he's talking about. But also what you're feeding your mind too. Like there's a lot of people right now who are not using their mind, and they're playing Minecraft, or they're playing a Final Fantasy game where they're just chopping a tree down to then like buy something in the game to get something else. And like, if that's fun and everything, but they're not really opening their mind or thinking outside the box, things like that. That's why here I'm trying to do this. I want you to not change your paradigm, but be open to changing your paradigm. Like with that last one, that's what I'm trying to do here. So, but I'm not telling you what to think, but I want you to change your paradigm of how you think, or be able to.
You really come from. You learn to act like them, but then your peers now became people on a screen.
Yeah, it's
so you don't even know what you sound like, and that's why now AI can sound like you, because you already sound like AI. That's what they've done to you.
How many women on TikTok and stuff like, come with me today as we bring my 3-year-old daughter for her first play date. It looks like it's going to be pretty rainy, but not too bad, so we'll bring a raincoat. When we got to the playground, the play date, it was a little bit rainy, but we went ahead and did it anyways. We also brought our dog, Steve, or Sally, or Sadie. We all had so much fun. It was a great day. Even went up for cookies afterward. Like we're already getting into that basically. And it's not like we've had 40 years of this media and stuff. It's still kind of new. So give it a little bit longer time to make its roots go all over the place, like a tree or a plant or something. It's going to be interconnected everywhere. It's just going to be very difficult to not let it consume you, I guess.
They've destroyed you. They've destroyed this land of, that talks about independence and originality and innovation and the individual and all of that. You've destroyed the individual. You've turned everybody into a mold.
Yeah.
So the same way that kids, back in my day anyway, start to act just like how we always talk about, so and so fell into a wrong group of friends, hung out with the wrong guys or whatever. So then they started to act bad, so on and so on. Okay, well that friend group is now YouTube, Netflix, TV, So you're the same way that if it was an actual friend group, you start to act like those people. The same thing happens with this. You start to act like them. That's why I don't know who any of these people are. I can see that you're imitating a kind of a pastiche of sitcom characters, actors and actresses that you watched. You're trying to do the facial expressions and it's very depressing to me. I can't do that. I can't even look at social media because it's so depressing to me. What has happened to human beings. That like you don't even know who you are. Like I said, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you sound like. You don't know what your voice is. You don't know what your thoughts are. You don't know what your real humor is, or even if you have a humor, you just think that because of sitcoms and everything, you're supposed to have a certain kind of quasi witty, sarcastic.
Yeah, he's right. Kind of like how people like listen to the Big Bang Theory or something like that and be snarky. They're just gonna say a perfect example. I remember, I guess like in the mid 2000s when it seemed like everybody was watching The Office and they just would have like the same type of humor as that. Basically, is sort of an example of what he's trying to say. We'll watch a little more of this and we'll change it to a less serious thing and watch some 304s get tased or something.
Jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
You don't know what your personality is.
Yeah, that's a trend in again, like expressions and thinking, or just the mood that you're supposed to be.
Mhm.
It's all created by the media.
Mhm.
I think what's I mean, someone's saying here, Fatima K is
Mhm.
saying that when we start and when we are in the learning process, the first step is imitating. I don't think we can bypass it. We're not talking about.
No, you don't have to bypass it.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
But you should imitate people, actual people.
Yeah.
Presume, hopefully, good people. Hopefully, people in your family.
Mhm.
You know,
The-
there's not a problem about imitation.
Yeah, I think the element of the soul, you know.
I mean, if you're imitating someone, sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you,
sorry.
but if you're imitating someone who is someone whom you come from,
Yeah.
your own people, your father, your mother, your uncle, your older brother, your older sister,
Yeah,
you can find really who you are.
Yeah, there's a kind of a heritage that you inherit, you know.
Yeah.
When you carry that type of interaction.
Yeah. Like when I was a kid, in my lifetime, there was no software. That wasn't even a word we didn't have. There wasn't software. There wasn't hardware. Well, there was hardware, but that meant a hammer. And you were destined for whatever you had skill in. Those were your career options. Your choices for life were dependent on what skills you had, what talent you had, and how hard you could work, and so forth. And it wasn't possible for me, for example, to think about being a model, or to think about being a singer, or to think about being, I don't know, an athlete. But now, apparently, anybody can be anything.
Mm.
Even if you were not born to look like a model, you can buy a model's face and become a model. Even if you can't sing, you can buy auto-tune software and sing.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
Mhm.
Even if you're not an athlete, you can take
steroids,
performance enhancing drugs.
Mhm.
And you can take steroids.
You're a man, you can become
Like
a
you can
woman
become
and
this.
whatnot.
You don't have what it takes to be a bodybuilder to actually do it. So you can just inject yourself
Yeah.
and get it.
Yeah, and meanwhile, some apparently skinny looking guy comes to the gym and lifts all of the heavy weight, the weight.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because there are actual people who can actually do things.
Right.
And those used to be the only people that we would see doing those things. It used to be. I mean, I remember I was telling you about this before. I mentioned it a few times. I don't remember what boy band it was, but there was some boy band that was making all kinds of excuses for a terrible performance. They had a terrible off-key performance. This was many years ago, so you all won't know what boy band I'm talking about. I can't remember. They're interchangeable anyway.
Mhm.
But they had a terrible performance, and they were making excuses, and their manager was making, their agent, whatever, was making excuses. Their earpiece wasn't working.
Right.
And they have dance moves that they have to do and
Right.
stuff. You've heard of the Isley Brothers? You heard Jackie Wilson? James Brown, any of the other, great performers of the past who were dancing and singing, no earpiece. You just do it because you're good at that. That's the thing you're good at. That's why you're the one on stage.
And it's not slop they force on you. They're just good at it, and you see them, I don't know if this is making sense to anybody, but it's not it's just not slop forced down your throat.
If you're not someone who can do it without the earpiece and you don't know how to sing and also perform at the same time, well, you're in the wrong business.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be shelving things on the grocery store.
Yeah.
It used to actually be that you have to have talent in order to reach some kind of a level.
Part of this is like bullshit jobs and stuff.
Now you've got so many people that they don't have talent. They're not even born with the looks. And they inject themselves with the looks, and they have the pieces and the parts put inside of them to where they look a certain kind of way that they were not born to look like. So it's like this level of entitlement of really, I can be whatever I want to be, literally.
Yeah.
Without actually earning it at all.
Without merit, yeah.
Without merit at all.
Yeah.
So again, this is an example of it's just an extension of the AI conversation. because now you can also have AI write books for you.
Yes, exactly. You getting what he's talking about? It's taking away like sometimes authentic achievement as well.
You author, so-called author, and AI wrote the whole thing. So now you're an author who can't write. You've got singers who can't sing, dancers who can't dance, athletes who can't do athletics. And this is your society.
A filter.
Meanwhile,
filter on your face.
There are societies in the world where they don't do that. Where you
like a voice filter or something.
actually do have to have the skill. You actually do have to have the talent. You actually do have to have the intelligence. You know, you actually have to have the craftsmanship to do this or that or the other. Those are the societies that will get ahead. This approach, this very short-term artificial is the right word. This very short-term artificial approach is not going to win in the long run. You're dooming your society. You really are.
Yeah, I like what he has to say quite a bit. I really do. He's good at diagnosing a bunch of issues, and pointing them out. Where did I want to do that? So we can do another police video. I want to check my chat out. You guys put a 1 if you found that interesting, or was it too much? I know I did a few deep topics that are pretty kind of esoteric, and I don't want seem critical, I guess. But that guy is good at. I feel like sometimes he's pretty good at diagnosing stuff now and then. And I didn't watch that beforehand. Okay, Clayton likes it and stuff. Because sometimes these we're aiming for nuance here, basically, and some people, that actually goes to the point that guy's saying, like, some people don't even understand nuance or what's going on. If it's not shaking ass or titties in like a 30-second clip, they don't know what's going on or care. So this is going the opposite way of what they're doing. So we'll lighten the mood with something like this.
My granddad is a police officer.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. There's the demon. I didn't know it was going to happen. I guess a trigger warning. Let me go back. Trigger warning for this. Look at this. Oh, my God.
My granddad is a police officer. Y'all are scary as
On June 30th, 2025, an officer pulled over a vehicle for having a window tint that was too dark.
The door. Keep the door closed.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Is your windows rolled down?
I just got them tinted today, this morning.
Okay.
Just now, today.
All right. Well, that's the reason for the stop.
Oh, it's legal. I made sure they get the legal one. You got one of those things?
We'll test it. Yep. It's definitely not.
So I have to roll down the window.
You're gonna have to.
Okay.
That's fine. Right? A little bit.
A little bit more?
A little bit more. Right there is good, man.
Good?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Officer.
Where are you guys coming from?
I just picked her up and bringing her home.
She's got a Mobby Red. That's what she's smoking. Oh, this guy's smoking crack with an old lady.
I have the window down here.
Nope. This one works.
Are you the officer? Are you?
Oh, geez, look at Methany in the back seat. So they were either selling it to her or buying it from her. Probably actually buying it from her. That's why she had all these windows like that, tinted like that. Nice plants here. This might be Florida. I would probably assume this is Florida.
Look, they all want.
Sit in the car.
They're cooked. They're cooked.
All right, Florida legal limit is 28% in the front, 15% in the back. The back is legal, the front is not. You have your license, registration, proof of insurance.
Huh? I just got on this morning and he put the same on the front, on the back.
Yep, it's illegal.
Really?
Yep.
Well, can I just take it off? It just got on this morning.
That's fine. You can deal with that on your own time. You have your license, registration,
Yes, I
proof of
do.
insurance. You have ID on you, partner?
No.
Yes, I do. And I have my insurance card yet. I have to get in there.
Open your hand.
Yes, sir. I politely want to open my pockets because this is the same one who searched me for nothing.
Baby, just stop.
No, for real.
Baby, it's okay. Just stop.
Where are you going?
Baby, come here.
Sit.
They're cooked. They haven't even really done anything or gotten any trouble, and they're cooked.
Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, all they had to do was shut up and say, take the ticket and go.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Yeah.
And how many times?
Let them go.
How many times do I say this? Always have all your insurance information and all your bullshit just ready so you can just hand it over to them. They spent so much time screwing around that the cop can, already look at everything without even getting in. So they're kind of messing up.
I'll get arrested. Douchebag having me on the camera for jack shit. Respectfully, can we talk?
Yeah,
respectfully,
in a
yeah.
minute.
He's like shaking his head. Yeah, my granddad was a fucking officer. This man don't know what he's doing.
I don't know if this is Florida, but it kind of seems like it for some reason.
Sit down.
Sit down.
One time, he's laughing about it. Baby, let's laugh about it. No, this is bullshit.
Sorry, I had a few drinks.
Look, yeah, he's all built. He's lit, and I'm fucking worried about it. No, my granddad, can I excuse
See how she's just ratting them out too without even knowing it from babbling? Look at this.
all fucking 90 y'all?
Sit down.
I'll sit down, because I'm a fucking pussy. Daddy. Who respects the law.
Daddy.
No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
This chick is crazy.
Please.
See how she still is rifling through paperwork and all this?
I don't care who this.
See that over here? That is one of the keys to this entire whole cluster F right here. That her just not having it in the glove box, ready to go. Here you go, officer. Here's my ID. Here's the insurance and registration. Go back to your car, put it in. Put it in your computer.
Do you remember me?
One more
From 8
time.
months ago?
Sit down.
Arrested me for nothing.
Oh, here comes the titties, maybe. What is going on?
Go straight to me and didn't have shit.
Sit down.
You can do that. Okay, Timothy Rodney's Lacey, all of that.
Listen.
You remember me from in the bridge.
I don't.
I didn't have a license. My old man didn't have a license. He just started driving.
That wasn't me.
And you fucking pulled us over for nothing.
You got me confused with the
I'm
wrong
gonna
guy.
get lit about it. He won't. He can be a pussy. I'll go to fucking
Sit
back
down.
to, yeah, but listen.
Sit
What did he say? He can get pussy or something?
I'm gonna get lit about it. He won't. He can be a pussy. I'll go to fucking
Sit
back
down.
to, yeah, but listen.
Sit
That's
down.
all the story got me. I don't give a fuck.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Officer, what? Was it the what?
This is why you don't get with any of these girls that are crazy, because when cops come, they don't know how to even handle themselves.
Yeah. Leave
Sit
it.
down.
You remember.
Sit down before you get
Look,
put
you're
in
so handsome
Don't
that
touch
I
me. Don't touch
freaking
me. I'm
even
telling you right now.
no,
Sit down
I
or
don't
you're
want
going
to
to jail.
touch
Okay.
you.
You're under arrest.
I'm under arrest.
Yep. You're under arrest for resisting.
Call off
Hands behind your back.
for resisting.
Yep.
Her shirt's inside out.
Officer Clay.
Yeah.
That's actually
Take a
my
seat.
dad's name.
Take a seat.
No, listen.
Take a seat.
Ooh, you can call me daddy.
Can he take the fucking seat?
Take a seat.
No, listen to me.
Come here.
Please.
No, you're good. I'm gonna talk to you.
I got her license. She doesn't have a registration. They got the insurance.
You see the insurance?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
We have a female tempted.
A female. He knows me.
I've arrested you one time when you were behind the window.
One time.
Yeah, they're not actually like fun. So a crazy girl can be fun, but sometimes when they're just like kind of a low life scumbag, they're actually sort of boring.
Quit playing. Please, like my fucking ain't. No, look at me. I
Take a
promise.
seat so you get out of the ring. Please, please take a seat.
Can you please look?
I'm looking. What?
Can you please loosen? Can you please loosen
Take a
it?
seat so you can get out of the ring. Okay, I'll loosen it once you're in the car. All right? It's gonna be dry in there. You're getting out of the rain. I'll talk to you.
Officer.
Yeah.
Officer, have a seat. No, listen, please. Can I just say one thing? No, officer is in this. Right there. Yeah, the one that's looking at me right there. Yeah, the one in the back and look at me.
How many times can you give somebody? Like, that was ridiculous. She grabbed. She did touch me.
These two people are still probably cooked though.
You guys both want to step out? We're gonna go under this underhang, all right?
Why, sir? Why would you get out of the car?
Because I'm asking you to.
Right now.
All right?
I understand, but like.
Because I'm telling you to now. All right. So now you need to step out. Okay.
You want me to get my registration? I think it's in the trunk.
See, she's still fucking it up. I think it's in my registration's in the trunk, sir. It's kind of her fault. They're all even in trouble, to be honest.
Little thing that I have all the repairs that I had.
Oh crap! I'm so damn it. I closed that out by mistake. Sorry, I have to look around when I'm doing different things here. Let's change the video anyways. My mistake, guys. Just 1 second here. I kind of want to change the video anyways. Okay. Your lunch break. Where you put in the chat where you guys are from. You know, we have some people from Greece and other places like that. So or maybe you're perhaps working night shift. I'm from New Hampshire in the United States. Okay. This one is called Meme Therapy. Shaming men with therapy and toxic masculinity.
Men need therapy, or that men need to work on themselves. It's never because they genuinely care about men's mental health. It's simply because they can't control men.
No longer have I accepted the standard of dating someone who hasn't gone to therapy.
I no longer want to date or trust men that have not been to therapy.
Like a year of court mandated therapy and like 2 intro to feminism courses.
Day 1 of tapering.
Brain 2 intro to feminist courses. Wow.
Off of my antidepressants, and I'm so nervous but so excited.
It's like everything got worse.
I have been in therapy since I was 6 years old. My parents said we want her to be emotionally intelligent, and that I am. I never stopped going to therapy.
I have been on Zoloft or sertraline since I was 16, and
So they want you to be like them. They want you to take medication and be like them. That's like their therapy. Yeah. Court dated therapy is like
I've been on the highest dose, which is 200 milligrams.
So I'm on an SSRI, really high dose, and then Vyvanse also affects your serotonin levels.
I've been taking sertraline for my anxiety for 4 weeks now. Something's funny, I laugh until I cry. I'm angry, I cry. I feel everything so intensely. I don't even want to feel anything anymore.
Go to therapy.
My mood has been so low.
No, I
have
just
no
looked at it.
motivation.
YouTube.
There needs to be a
user
section on
210.
dating
It
apps
does look like a very
that
good
says,
channel.
Have you been to therapy? And I've been struggling
I only
with
have
the
one
smallest of
monitor.
tasks, like even having a shower.
And so I always, I'm like looking at other stuff in the
They
background.
recently
so I
did
don't
these studies
get to
on
see all
these,
the chats.
coping techniques. They taught coping techniques.
I'm making this video.
And it turned out it made kids sadder and more anxious. They measured this. And the reason was Regularly ruminating on your bad feelings can make you feel worse.
Yes, boys, they love.
Well, yeah, we know that because it's just like an affirmation of the same thing all the time. And this, let me just go look at this. Someone in the chat was recommending this channel, and this looks like a very interesting channel. I kind of hope the entire things are not all AI the entire time, but we can definitely go look at this.
What happened in the 1800s, and why does this rock look like a person?
This definitely seems dope to look into. So we'll look into this channel too. One thing that I do like about it. Oh, you guys have seen it too? Why don't we check out one of these? Because this is a user show where the user gets to say a lot of the time too. So let's go back, and I subscribed to him, and these are popular videos. Artificial. We could go on with
This
the
is
AI.
my opinion, of course, but
I mean, I always am into the AI. Let's see what this guy has to say about it.
I think this is going to be a good episode to come back to for most people that would like to introduce someone new to this topic of the old world, or a simple reminder of what we have been told is the truth versus what is really going on in front of our.
Yeah, so I haven't brought this up on the show, but I do. When you look at some of these buildings and how they're made, I don't believe we just made it with like horse and buggy and stuff like that, but hell no. So I'm not exactly sure what's happened, but I do think that we're definitely, you guys know, I always think or not always think we're lied to, but I try to point that out where I can.
Faces. Now, I have been seeing a few people across multiple platforms that haven't really looked into this topic, that are saying that just because we have done this before and can see the buildings here in front of us, this automatically means that we are able to construct these buildings today if we wanted to, even though we never do and never will. We have all
just as soon as we get the Baltimore Bridge back up and running. So that might be another one. I've done it a little bit before in my past, but I was interested in that Baltimore Bridge incident big time. And also, we can do a follow-up on, so one videos that got a lot of subscribers and stuff is actually when I was showing that synagogue truck thing, how I thought it was bullshit and inflated and everything. And I ended up being correct about a lot of stuff. But it still was new to YouTube then. I didn't know how to like link the videos up and stuff yet. So I definitely want to do more videos along this line for sure. I don't want to just watch people get arrested and shit. I do that sometimes. It just lightens it up.
And make mistakes all the time. Our buildings and bridges fall apart after 100 years, but the ones from the 1800s and much longer before that were built with perfection and not one flaw, thrown together in less than a year without blinking an eye. It was simple, perfect stonework, never a mistake. Remember, in 2023, we use actual construction companies.
Word Freemason comes to mind.
We have the tools, not slaves, not prisoners, not horses and wagons. We are supposed to be so much better than the people of the 1800s. This is what they tell us. This is the mainstream narrative. Evolution, of course. But we have proven time and time again that the people from the 1800s built Capitol buildings over and over and over in less than a year. Basilicas, cathedrals, all over the world. They get burned to the ground by a fire. And then a few short months later.
So notice a lot of the geometry is often the same too. I bet these buildings have a lot of like symbolism and stuff. Like how many pillars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think So there's a lot that can be analyzed when looking at stuff like this.
The old one is all cleaned up and a new one is there forever. They could knock out entire towns in a few months, entire world's fairs. They supposedly were able to build these buildings so fast, so well, with untrained workers, people that have never constructed anything before, prisoners, people that went to jail for any reason at all. They could all build cathedrals in every country, in every town, in every century, except for this one that we're in today. They built so many of them and so fast.
And now, like, this is part of the authenticity that I was also speaking of too. See how so in your environment, so you kind of, like we were saying before, you absorb part of your environment too. When you're around greatness like this, when you're around and you see essentially works of art, you see mastery, you see strength, stability, literally a strong foundation, something that has elegance and class and greatness, that makes you think that way more. And what do we have now in every downtown? A strip mall with like a Planned Parenthood and an urgent care on it that looks like shit. Everything looks like shit now. It's a square. There's never anything rounded, and there's no art to it. Also, notice a ton of these buildings all have bells in them. The clock tower bell. A lot of them have the clock tower bell in them because they, it's noon, it will ring 12 times. Bells are kind of considered to be like very healing. When a bell rings, that reverberation stays that way kind of for like a while. So if you like have like a really good bell and you ring it, it stays ringing actually for a pretty long time. And you can kind of feel it have like an effect on your body and shit. They're basically ringing like a high vibration kind of, especially small ones. That's why like monks have them and stuff. They're like ding, ding. Same thing, the same concept as with a gong as well. That's why in the East they use a gong. That's almost like a bell. When you hit that, it like reverberates through the entire room. It kind of like cleans the energy in the room, basically, so to speak. And around World War II, they started they said like, oh, we need maybe it was even World War One, but basically they went around taking a lot of the bells, saying like, oh, well, we need this copper or whatever metal, the materials that are in the bell, we need to like take all these bells down and melt it down to go make like cannon barrels and stuff to go kill people. So we need to take your church bell down, which will be a bitch to do, and then we need to like move it to like a field, and then we need to go move it to a place to then become like a cannon tube to go kill people. A gong is just a flat bell, yes. So part of that's what I'm saying. The environment does influence people. That's why people, a lot of like what they have now just kind of sucks. People like oh my, in Dubai, like, oh my God, the buildings are so crazy. It's just basically a very tall square.
That they could just afford to
We don't build with like stone anymore.
Knock them all down when they were done. This is what we're told, of course. In my opinion, none of this happened. In my opinion, these buildings are from the previous civilization, and our entire history timeline is a complete fabrication. And this is proven time and time again. And the fire story gives it all away, every time. Let's expose the lies even further. Welcome to episode 41 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome.
Yeah, this channel is dope. So put a 1 in the chat if you've kind of like heard this term before, Tataria. I have, and I didn't think about making a show about it or anything yet, but we'll just look into it together, I guess. I've heard of it, and I've seen a couple of things on it and videos and stuff. I've looked around at it a little bit. And what was I going to say about it? I always thought, even if you don't, let's say you don't believe any of that. I remember I would ask people like even tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some logging work for this like old school craftsman guy. And, you know, I would ask him, is like, do you really think that they made those pyramids with just like old hand tools and stuff like that? He's like, oh yeah, definitely. You know, they just had like rolled things on logs and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't really believe that. And also too, a great way of looking at this without really being biased too, is they have YouTube videos and stuff, a video of like pictures that are really, really old, which they're able to kind of like digitally enhance. Some of them were even like really old pictures, and they really show like how magnificent some of this stuff has been. Remember too, where do our books come from? Basically, well, the school books and a lot, like basically J.P. Morgan, Ghislaine Maxwell's family. Those are two sources, and some of the Rockefellers, but one of them is, I think it's J.P. Morgan who's quoted saying, he's like, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. So a lot of the history books they give you are just kind of bullshit. They only tell you a little bit. And our education system is not very good either.
And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app. I'll put the link in the description, and you can use my referral code, MLB. The app is awesome. It shows a lot of videos that are really hard to find. They've got them all in great playlists. He also has my lunch break on the homeschool section of the app, which is really cool. Thank you for that. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, Don Gaston, Jason Brunson, Maddie Kevs, Christopher Arietta, Millicent, The Lady Lacey Show, Edwin Johnson, Home Guard Goes Hard, David and Sherry Ferguson, and Nazir Premier. You guys are all awesome.
I just bought a dump trailer that has this logo on it. It's like a Griffin, it's called.
And helping this channel out a lot. Here we are in Texas. More specifically, 414 St. Joseph Street, Gonzales, Texas. And why are we here? Well, they have the Gonzales County Courthouse. And in my opinion, the narrative is lying. Are we all ready?
Yeah, so like, so one other thing that I wanted to say too is like, you never really see a lot of pictures of them like building this stuff. So it's like, you're going to tell me they had all the best craftsmen and stuff come from all over the world to work their ass off on this. And they just decided to retire home in like a tent. You know what I mean? Like they lived in a shitty shack, but they made this one building so great. So I've had a few debates on it, because I think just purely by building it, I don't think they could rig up stuff to make all these blocks go that high and make it this perfect. So, but a lot of these people too also like try to link it with flat Earth constantly too. So I haven't really tackled any of this because I'm not really sure what to think about either of it, to be honest with you.
Here we go. The contract was awarded to Furman Moore.
I do think we are like part of why I don't really look at this so much is because it's important to know, yes, but like what we currently live in and where we're being lied to is actually more important to understand what's going on rather than what's happened before. So what's happened before is important to know the genesis of certain things. But right now we need to know like what's kind of coming up. That's why I didn't look into this stuff so much.
On June 26, 1894. But wait, there's something weird going on here. We're told that this wasn't the first courthouse on this site. This is the second building to serve as the county courthouse. Well, what do you mean this wasn't the first one? What happened to the first one? The first Gonzales County Courthouse burned down on December 3rd, 1893. Do you notice how fast they tried to throw that in there? It was like they thought we wouldn't notice or something. Of course we will. This is...
And I wonder what that means in numerology. So number 12, let me just look at something really quickly here. Really quick. Plus 1 plus 8 plus 9 plus 3. So all that adds up to 11 in numerology. I just want to
what we do.
Take note.
Look at how they worded it too. They didn't even say the first building or the first courthouse. They just quickly say the first burned on December 3rd, 1893. And they just want to move on like nothing happened. So we get the nod. Another fire story. Very interesting.
And see how these buildings are not fully square like we have now. See the rounded edges? A, it's much harder to make. B, it's more beautiful, but like it has more of a flow around it. It's not just like a prison cell. Like if you look at a modern high school today, it's basically like the same as like a prison.
And also the clear giveaway that this is a building from the past civilization. In my opinion, and a reminder that there was never a fire here on this site. This is simply a
lot of this stuff too, you barely even need to like fix the roofs or anything.
Nod to their group that this building is from the old world. Now, let's continue shredding this nonsense apart. We are told that the second county courthouse was completed on April of 1896. The contract was awarded in June of 1894. They get their superintendent for the construction in 1895. And then in April of 1896, the building is done. And this all happens in basically 2 years after the first one burned down. And it's weird because it takes almost as much time to find the superintendent as it does to actually build the entire building. And it lasts forever. So let's get this straight. They're telling us that December 1893, the first one is in flames.
I mean, just look at today, the Baltimore Bridge. What's it been, like 3 years? And they haven't even figured out who's going to pay for how to build it and stuff like that. They suck at it. That's why. China is actually really good at building bridges.
And we have no idea who built that one or anything about it. And don't ask any questions about that one. And then 6 months later, it's gone and all cleaned up by June of 1894. And the contract is ready to roll. And from June 1894, we wait until some point in time in 1895. So at least 6 months, but could have been 18 months. Since they don't share the information, we have to speculate. So let's meet in the middle at 12 months to find a construction guy. And then he knocks this thing out somehow by April of 1896. Who believes that he did this in less than a year? How many people worked for him?
So one really good friend who I have, who I think is very smart, we've debated about this, and his debate is like, well, they brought in the best craftsmen who they brought in like the best stone guy, the best tree guy, the best, cement guy, the best, crown molding wood guy. And that they were like just such good master craftsmen that they just almost made it look easy because they were like really good and they got paid a shit ton to do it. That could have some truth to it, but the logistics of it, I don't know how they were able to lift things up so high and like crane it and everything like that, and make it so, like they could maybe make certain things, but I don't think it would be as level, as it is and stuff like that. Also, the surveying of the land too, as well.
It's just weird that they tell us that he was just an owner of a quarry that had limestone in it. Now, all of a sudden, he is a construction superintendent guy that builds massive courthouses in a year. Wow, the 1800s were incredible. You could truly be anything you want back then. Amazing.
And again, this is good because this goes along with culture as your operating system. In modern day culture, the common boomer and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, they just built it before us. I always thought that was weird because I would always ask questions like that, like how do they actually do this? You know what I mean? Like if you're actually standing at some of these buildings, you're like, it's very hard to believe they were doing it. Same with pyramids and stuff like that. It's like you guys are telling me they just did it with a hammer and chisel and stuff like that, move it around perfectly and all this. Like there's just no way. Yeah, Carlos doesn't think so too. Yeah, I don't know.
Total joke of a story. This is absolute insanity that this kind of stuff is what we are supposed to believe actually happened. We all understand that in order to build
These probably all have a shit ton of like tunnels too.
Massive courthouse, you would need to get all the materials there. We would need to have a proper amount of construction workers that are properly trained.
Yeah,
this
they never say
quarry
I don't
owner
know.
can't just go build it himself. We would need the proper equipment, incredible architecture. The planning had to be perfect. Using the specs that they give us on this courthouse, I asked ChatGPT a question. In the end,
well, yeah, because I don't want to be a hater on the level of craftsmanship. I'm sure it could be up to a crazy high standard, and they would be crazy efficient at it as well. I think that, but I think when it comes to getting things up so high and everything, I have a hard time seeing that. I mean, even with our modern cranes, it's actually very difficult to do it like now. So that's the part where I think, and part of it too is just simply this, the logistics. How are you going to get the shit there? You have to get a shit ton of stuff there. A dick ton of stone, cement, lumber, the forms of the concrete, all the materials, shit like that. So the logistics of just getting the stuff there alone is very difficult to believe. And I know they can just, the people are just going to say, well, you just floated it on a boat and then took it off and shit. Yeah, but I don't know.
The answer was eye-opening. I asked hypothetically, how long would it take to build a courthouse in 1895? And how many men would you need? I asked if it could give me a breakdown of how much material would be needed, and also include other details that are important in constructing a courthouse that covers 2.7 acres. I explained that it is a building in a Romanesque revival style with eclectic details, meaning it covers other types of architecture design.
But see how, and I like how this guy's asking ChatGPT to question it. That's good. But here's an example of how AI will become kind of a god in a way, because people are asking it all the time and using it as an authority anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like when they want to go check a fact or something like that, that's what they end up using. So that's going to be around us and integrated with us all the time. It's just going to be like, why don't I just check it with my Google glasses right now? Oh, that's false. You can't say that. Like we're getting really close to that.
And that it will.
And that's going to be part of the merging with AI that people, like or don't like. I talk about it a lot.
Be built with red brick and white limestone trim. Now, these are the specs that we are given from the mainstream narrative. This is what they tell us. They tell us this information because they have to. The thing is literally sitting here looking right at us. For anyone that wants to go look at it, you can walk right up to it and see it, or you can see a picture of it as we.
Boston Public Library has some pretty cool stuff like this too.
We are right now. So let's see what this AI tells us. We are told that constructing a courthouse in 1895 in the specs that they stated would have been a significant undertaking. And here is the breakdown. Just the design and planning would have taken pretty much a year.
And the surveying.
Because it's 1895, you still need permits and approvals. This happened in 1895. This isn't cavemen days, where you just get to build massive buildings and not tell anyone about it. So the fact that they're ignoring this part of the story over and over is crazy. This would have taken another couple months. So then we move on to the materials. We are told that the amount of red brick needed would depend on the design and size of the courthouse. Courthouses that cover 2.7.
Exactly. Like, this is what I'm saying. Just the materials alone, getting it there, staging it, is kind of almost insane in itself. It's not to say that not capable of stuff like that. But it's a very big undertaking, just like how the pyramids were.
7 acres could use hundreds of thousands to millions of bricks. This is an unbelievable amount of material just for bricks alone. The process in getting these materials to the site is not easy. So then the white limestone trim, 100,000 cubic feet of limestone. The wood for interior elements, including flooring, stairs, and
molding and stuff.
Doors. A substantial amount of wood would be required. Then we will need steel and glass, and not just any glass. They have to be perfect for windows in the Roman.
Exactly. You're gonna just bring that stained glass like all the way from like Europe over to here and shit like that. Liberty Cap has a point, because I have seen stuff from Pacific Northwest where they have these huge logs that are like insanely big, and they're moving them with like steam engines and shit like that. So this stuff, I don't know. That's why I don't really watch it a lot, because I don't want to like encourage someone to think. I don't know. I don't want to steer them the wrong direction.
Revival style. Now, of course, the best part, in my opinion, because they don't even mention any people that helped this quarry owner guy. The labor, the number of workers needed would vary. But constructing such a massive courthouse might require hundreds of laborers. Hundreds? And not a mention of one in this story? And this isn't even to build it in a year. This is just saying to build it in a respectable timeline. So to build it in a year, there had to be way more than hundreds of workers, like we're told. Amazing. Okay, you would need bricklayers, carpenters, masons. Oh, did I say that? Steelworkers and general laborers. When we are told that slaves and prisoners built these places in a year, just remember this and ask yourself if you think this is true or not. Now we have the construction time. Given the scale and complexity, construction could take several years, perhaps 3 to 5 years. The Romanesque revival style with its...
Well, also too, another thing that goes in their credit, they were not having, poison goy-slop food all the time, and have like chemtrails and a bunch of things like that. So that actually does, they probably actually were like way stronger, because they were also doing manual labor all the time. So some of the people were probably actually beasts.
Ornate details would require careful craftsmanship, which takes time. So these workers had to have been trained and been good at it, especially finishing it in a year. This is insane. How are these workers not world renowned? Wouldn't there be statues?
Yeah.
To them? They probably could have made the statues themselves in their backyards in a couple of days, since they were so good at it. And now, of course, we have the ridiculous part of the transportation. Transporting materials to the construction site. And before we get into this, I want to mention this, that they don't mention this in the story. And I think they don't on purpose, because it is so insane. Here we go.
This is what I'm saying. I think the transportation, just the acquiring of the materials to do it is actually crazy.
Transporting materials to the construction site would require horses, wagons, and likely a nearby source of limestone. Okay, so the horses and wagons moved the 100,000 cubic feet of limestone from the quarry. What a joke. Now they will need tools, of course. You can't do this without tools. So here's the tools and equipment section. Tools of the time would include hammers, chisels, saws, cranes, and various other hand tools. Just hammering and chiseling away.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess they can just construct a big ass crane on site. They can't really move it too much. So I guess they could just keep welding a crazy crane. Oh, now I'm actually thinking they maybe could have done it, but I still kind of don't believe
in 1895 to 1896 with their horses and wagons. The fact that they tell us these buildings go up all over the world in a year is such a lie, in my opinion. You'd need a source of water for mixing mortar and for the workers. If it's a large project,
thanks for being here,
this one
guys.
Definitely is. You might even need on-site housing for the workers, which they don't have on-site housing for the workers. Have you ever seen a narrative say this? No. They ignore the actual logistics in every narrative. You need people to build these places, and people need things such as housing, food, water. This is common sense. yet never mentioned.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. They just lived in a tent in a shack the whole time. I mean, perhaps, but I'll put it this way. I think that for the time, there were some really, really good crafts. Like I'll take like my trade of like, cutting trees. I bet that there were some people who were like crazy good at it with even just a handsaw they were just like crazy good at it. And once you get a few groups of them together, they could accomplish like amazing amounts of work. But at the same time, something just doesn't really click with me about it.
Stone carvers and artisans would,
or I think this is a different paradigm than them just making it,
be required for this work. What was their names? Did the quarry owner do that himself? No. Which company had pro stone carvers and artisans? And of course, supervision. You'd need
exactly, like someone would be like, oh, well, my great grandfather worked on, he was doing the roof on this huge church steeple or something like that,
skilled supervisor and project managers to ensure the work proceeds smoothly and to quality standards. And this is literally the only part that
Thank
we
you,
are
Steve.
given.
Yeah, I got
The
a ton of
only part we
subscribers
are given
recently. I
is
put
the
out a lot
person
of.
that should be watching over all
I
of
want to thank all the people who tune into these live streams. You really have been able to help me get my watch hours up and learn how to present the show better. And then I go back and clip the past shows, and I'm able to learn how to clip better and do other stuff like that. So, thanks, thanks for being a part of it.
things that actually have to happen. I'm going to put
And I'm
this
going
in
to get a
sports
shit ton
terms.
more
They're
subscribers
basically
too.
telling us the name of the coach for the Patriots, and then forgetting to tell us all about Tom Brady, or the coach's name of the Lakers and the Bulls, and not saying anything about Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, or Dennis Rodman. All we get is Phil Jackson and Frank Vogel. This is insane. This is not working anymore. So I asked it to be more specific with the timeline. I said, so in all, how long would this all take? It responded.
And too, like, this was a suggestion from UserTube something or other. I'll look his name up. So like, you guys can also suggest things in the chat as well too. Don't be afraid to give feedback.
With this, given the complexity and scale of constructing a courthouse, covering 2.7 acres in the Romanesque revival style with red brick and white limestone trim in 1895, the entire process could take 1 year to just design and plan it.
This fits along with the topic of culture is your operating system, but the culture tells you what is true. The culture tells you what's true and whatnot. What about Santa Claus? They tell you Santa Claus. They tell you the Easter Bunny. Those things are just as egregious to be telling you about as this is. It's just as egregious and just as bad. If they can lie to you about 9/11 and stuff like this, they can do, this is just like 9/11 type shit, but back then. So part of the problem is people maybe can't even think outside the box, but if they could, they're kind of scared to, because sometimes the more you expand your thinking, the more you kind of can see how you're being lied to as well. So that's like, I'm calling this like red pill content, but like that's the next red pill. It's like, yeah, we get it. Women are this way and blah, blah, blah. Like this is the other parts of the red pill, the printed money, the AI coming, the systems to kind of harvest your energy basically and fuck around with you. How you're programmed from your environment, that culture is your operating system. This is what we're talking about. And it's not telling you what to believe. It's just saying, think that you could possibly be lied to. If you're lied to about a few things, you gotta, ultimately we got to go back and take responsibility of where we're lied to and whatnot to know how to go forward. Otherwise, you're just operating from like a lie, which is easier. Most people like that's a problem that see, this is where boomers really messed a lot up, because like boomers never like looked back and thought of anything like this because they had a new boat and a boathouse, so they didn't give a shit. And materialism's their god, and they got the Reaganomics credit. So they don't. You have the Reaganomics credit. You don't care if there's a couple more chemicals going in the food now and then. What do you give a shit what the ketchup is? Do you even care if your ketchup has tomatoes in it? It's red 40 corn syrup paste by the Kraft family. Goy slop. That's what you get. But you have a boat. You have a boat and a lake house and a snowmobile, and the women are not too crazy yet. So they didn't give a damn about any of this. And then when you get older to ask them, who else put in here that boomers can't, this guy right here. Why is it not showing? Okay, yeah, no boomer can say I don't know. So you never really got to figure any of that out. So like no time has ever, nobody through time has ever really gone back and, was thinking about a lot of this stuff. And they're just like, hey, don't even worry about that.
Another several months to permitting and approvals. Several more months to a year for the material.
So I'm not blaming this on boomers. I'm just saying they're part of the chain of the.
So in total, it mathematically and logistically should take anywhere from 4.5 years to 7.5 years. This is unbelievable, considering so many times we are told that a building goes down in a fire and then another one is built in a few months. This kind of brush.
Just like what other building? What other buildings are brought down in a fire? Well, they say as a fire, all the 9/11 stuff, which they get an insurance claim on. Quite a nice one, mind you.
Brushing it off with a few months kind of thing isn't working anymore. And I don't want to end the episode yet. I want to go even deeper and even more specific. Yes. So I ask, how many horses would they need for this project? And here we go. The horses.
Oh, they're going to need a shit ton. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in order to lift those blocks, you're going to need like a lot of horses to like maneuver all this stuff around. Like the logistics and the way that just the physics of moving some of this stuff around is pretty crazy. And they can do some crazy stuff. I've seen it with tree work. They can do a lot of really crazy stuff, but this is, a little more than I really believe.
Be needed for 6 major things in this project in 1895. Transporting, milling and lifting, general labor, site grading and excavation, water and power, cranes and heavy lifting, and getting the cranes there to the site, of course. This would take 20 to 30 horses to finish the project in 4.5 to 7.5 years, not 1 year. So we all understand. They would need way more than 30 horses. And we all understand that horses need water. Remember, this is for 30 horses for possibly 7.5 years. I want to make that point extremely clear. This is not the 1 year timeline that we're told. Now here we go. Let's absolutely destroy the narrative and end it forever. That any building anywhere in the world, like this one, could not be simply built in a year and just brushed off with zero explanation.
Right. So this guy may be able to say like where we're lied to, but what I'm saying is like we're still kind of at the same point where we're going to be moving forward under the same with the same problems, I guess.
How much water would the horses actually need? This is a key point that cannot be ignored, like it is in the mainstream narrative. A typical horse would drink anywhere from 5 to 15 gallons of water per day for a project like this. This is to properly keep the horses.
It's funny this because like that's like almost like what an engine takes.
Hydrated, or they will die, especially in Texas, where it's extremely hot in the summer months. For only 30 horses, you would need 300 gallons of water per day. This is only
that's not even taking care of the workers.
10 horses over 7.5 years. Where is all this water coming from? Why is this massive point
Wait, that won't take over 7.5 years to get the water, but whatever.
ignored? The point alone proves that this project did not happen in a year. This is such a horrible slip up for the narrative. And it is the most important part of the logistic project that needs to be taken care of. Without the water...
Oh, they needed the water for the concrete as well.
Water supply for the main transportation for the project. None of this happens anywhere in the world in the 1800s. From this point on, a narrative that tells us that they built a building in a year in the 1800s without explaining the massive supply of water for the horses should be looked at as a lie. Incredible. This is a major failure by the narrator, a massive flaw that now opens the floodgates. This narrative is not possible. Did they think that we would never question this? And now we know that this type of construction,
Kremlin is probably like,
is not even close to possible. We are waking up to the nonsense.
yeah, Kremlin is probably like one of these two.
We are educating each other, building a group of people that are not just accepting lies and actually questioning. We are looking into things, and the more we look, the easier it gets. The more answers we find, and the more truth comes through. And the more that we know, the harder and harder it is to lie to us. Once you know the truth, like I always say, you don't go back to not knowing. You are now awake, and you will take this information with you and apply it to the next story, where they will tell you that a building was built in a year by a quarry owner that never built anything before and never again in his entire life. And we have a bonus today as a thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. But before we do this, I'm gonna make this extremely clear. I do not have a problem with any group, race, religion, or any of that. These narratives cover all races, religions, and agendas. So now that we're clear on that, we have the Yeshiva University High School. This is a modern Orthodox Jewish day school located on 2540 Amsterdam Avenue, New York, New York. It only has 300 students aged 14 to 18. Only boys are allowed in this school. For anyone that has not seen episode 35, you may want to check that one out after this, so you fully understand the legal definition of the word founded. Let's pretend that we constructed an incredible building that looks just like this one. Would we
Oh, I think I've seen this. They start putting bricks like over it to make it look like shit.
say that we found it, or would we say that we built it? Honestly, it's as simple as that. We do not...
And speaking of small hat schools, that's what they brought up, small hat schools. How many people remember that, like, 1877 cars for kids, KARS cars for kids? Like, this is a tax write-off thing where we'll get the car out of your house and donate it to charity. That was a scam to a small hat school in New Jersey. Let me show you that. If I can find it. Just put this on for a second.
On the West Coast.
And I'll do show you what the Cars for Kids thing is. Well, actually, it might copyright. But I'm sure you guys have heard that commercial. If you haven't heard it, it was very popular on the radio. I know on East Coast it was. It'd be one of those things like you're trying to go to sleep at night and that thing would come into your mind. But I'll cue that up after we'll complete this video. I should have completed this one, but it just reminded me of that.
say that we founded our houses. This is ridiculous and incredible that the word founded...
Well, founded is going to be some type of small hat, like something like how they do like with Bill Clinton, like, well, we don't know what is, and things like that.
Been thought of as built for so long. The founding fathers, they found a lot of stuff that they didn't build. Telling you is a rule for some reason. Being able to tell you something and you not understand what you're saying is still you accepting that you're being told something. This is a classic spell that is cast. It is a deception tactic. The word spelling is literally spell casting. Founded is not constructed or built. All right, let's get back to this school. What do we see here in the alumni section? We haven't found...
And that who founds a lot. Charities are also founded. That's where they do that same thing. The founder of this charity. And And those are usually scams.
Found more people that found a bunch of stuff, have we? Actually,
like old universities.
We found 6 people that seem to be good.
Ooh, ton of them were rabbis.
At finding things, all having something to do with this building that was found. Now, the individual who found this building is surely a great guy who wouldn't steal anything or say that a building that he finds is his, or would he? The TA, as it originally was called, was founded in 1916 by Rabbi Dr. Bernard Revel. Bernard Revel? Who is this guy? Oh, he was a great guy that was only arrested and imprisoned in Russia and then immigrated over to the United States to find this building. While in America, he struggled, though. Oh, wait, no. He married right into a rich family in 1909. All right, so enough about this guy. I think we get the point. And we have this section of the story, of course. Interesting, okay. February 9th of this current year, 2023. Okay, right, okay. Giving 1.5 million to this school, all right. And we all know about renovations, how these buildings don't need to be renovated. This is normally a way to destroy the old world. But let's.
Yeah, we can talk about that, Steve. They have these things called the Rife machine. Maybe I can actually even play one of them into my into this microphone. I actually kind of like. I actually bought like a cheap one of those, and I kind of had just put it away and didn't really use it actually to mess around trying it. It didn't emit the sound like a on its own like a record player would. You needed to plug in headphones to it, like old school ones. And I bought some earbuds, and I just I need to go play around with it. But yeah, they're saying like certain ones affect certain areas of the body and stuff like that. They're saying 432 affects the heart. They're saying that basically different frequencies can vibrate with different like chakra points on the body and stuff like that. And some of it may be true. They can have music that has like the good frequencies and then not, and you can kind of feel a subtle difference from them.
Let's check this auditorium out. Interesting.
Which might be a whole hidden science that they don't, really tell a lot. And that's probably what I almost guarantee you this is what he's going to say right now is like in this auditorium, the sound goes up through here and kind of echoes and multiplies itself. And it like, see how in this room here, I don't know if you can really see my mouse or not. See how it's like, can be like a circle and a rounding effect. Everything else is like a square, up like this. It's a square. It's a prison cell. It's a box. That's kind of why they have the thing like think outside of the box is a little bit also what that refers to.
What do you think?
Will reverberate different.
Does this need renovation? Looks pretty incredible to me. The project is going to include the restoration of stained glass windows and ceiling. What is wrong with the windows and the ceiling?
So another thing why they have all this stained glass, and even in churches, they're suggesting that when you're in here in this space, basically, that like affects all those like chakra points on your body. That's why they have all those different colors like that. How true that is, I don't know, but I've heard that many times. That's why they have it. Whether it's an image made as images or just in this case it's just squares of glass, but that's kind of like what that is for.
We have eyes to see.
So basically it becomes like an enlightening experience in a church is what they're trying to do.
We need someone else to tell us that the ceiling and the glass look awesome and should be left alone. And what is this? Look at that architecture. The stonework on this place is so detailed and precise. Whoever did this was unbelievable at their job. How is this individual?
Yes, he was.
Or construction team? How are they unknown to us? And it was supposedly built within the last 100 years. So we should definitely know who did this. That fact alone should get alarms ringing. If they could really build this place, you would have to ask yourself, why would they write the name of the whole building so pathetic? That alone should be a major red flag. For anyone that is on the fence, this is crazy. Look at how terrible that is. It is totally put on the building by our civilization, not the ones that built the building. And they do it again here. This is laughable stuff. It looks like they just put a sticker on the stone and called it a day. So here's the outside where the stained glass.
Well, that's also
is going
our
to be
government
destroyed.
work too.
And
Our government work can't even get a damn thing done, anyways. Like I said, soon as they're going to rebuild the Baltimore Bridge, and it's going to be even more magnificent than this. See this old shit here? The new Baltimore Bridge is going to be awesome. And guess what? Trump can put like a casino at each side, so you can gamble on each side of the bridge. So you can just do more gambling.
Done by our advanced civilization. It is clear that these colors and this pattern is meaningful, and we simply do not understand it. It's not damaged. It's not old. It doesn't need our help. So here is the building that we are talking about. This is a photo from 1928, and I'm guessing 1928, even though it only says 28. And look at these windows, clearly being covered up by the sidewalk, more and more as we go from left to right. Very interesting. We have shown this kind of window covering before, and it shows that this building is definitely much bigger than we can see with our eyes. And who really knows what the date of this place is? That's someone's handwriting on the picture. I could have easily wrote that for all we know. I didn't, but my point is that it's just crazy the things that we just blindly accept, just because we are told that it's true by someone or a group that has awarded themselves the leader. This picture could be from the past civilization for all we know, and our finders found their camera. Now here on the Yeshiva University website, under this founder Bernard guy's bio, they tell us that in 1928, they were supposedly granted permission to build this building that we are looking at. 1928, remember, the institution's charter was amended to authorize the granting of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees. Now,
I think yeshiva means destroyer.
Because they are allowed to give out degrees, they were now going to construct their main building. That same year, in 1928, like we talked about, the building was done, as shown in the picture from November 26, 1928. So we are now being told that this building was constructed in less than 11 months. Whoa. Anyone else see these pictures? A year? 1 year to build all of this. There are massive alarms going off in this narrative. Look at the stonework alone. Less than a year? From start to finish. Which construction company was used? How many men? Where did they get the materials from?
Yeah, why isn't that construction company around now killing it?
Which architect did they use? We have proven through AI, ChatGPT, that this is not possible to construct in a year, not even close. There are so many major factors that are just brushed under the rug here in this crazy story that would need to be explained, that at this point, in my opinion, it's honestly impossible for it to be true. That ceiling alone should be questioned. This auditorium was just thrown together in a few months and still had plenty of time for the rest of the building in 11 months. It's just incredible stuff. I hope you all enjoyed this longer episode. I'm very thankful that you are all enjoying these episodes. I really enjoy sharing my research with you all. I enjoy reading the comments and seeing this topic and research spread to more and more new people every day.
Nice. Yeah, this channel's dope. Let's make sure to give him some credit. It's called My Lunch Break. Awesome stuff. Some on my live stream. Thanks so much. Check it out. And quick break for a second.
Goals become like a magnet. And the bigger they are and the stronger they are and the longer the list and the more things you'd like to acquire during the course of your lifetime, the stronger they pull. But let's talk now about setting goals and see if we can make this really meaningful, possible for you. Make sure that the greatest pull on you is the pull of the future. Not the pull of the past that keeps taking you back. Not the pull of gravity like the present that just keeps you sort of stuck where you are. We want to make sure that the greatest influence and pull on us is the pull of the future. If you have powerful goals well designed and plenty of them to stir your imagination, here's what they will do. Goals become like a magnet. And the bigger they are and the stronger they are and the longer the list and the more things you'd like to acquire during the course of your lifetime, the stronger they pull. It's possible. Possible for you. And here's the other advantage in setting goals, so that these goals begin to pull you in that forward future direction. They pull you through. They pull you through all kinds of downtime. They pull you through all kinds of nighttime experiences. They pull you through all kinds of winters. They pull you through. You can much more easily survive the next crisis, the next winter of your life, if you have well set goals. They pull you through. They pull you through. They pull you through. They pull you through. Finely tuned. Places you want to go, things you want to do, people you want to meet, skills you want to develop, fortune you want to make, benevolence you want to engage in. All of that becomes powerful and clear, and you're on your way. I promise you, no matter what happens, those goals will pull you through. You won't be lost in the middle, because you'll be able to see beyond. Goals become like a magnet. And the bigger they are and the stronger they are and the longer the list and the more things you'd like to acquire during the course of your lifetime, the stronger they pull. They pull you through. They pull you through. It's possible for you. If you have powerful goals well designed and plenty of them, stir your imagination. Here's what they will do. Goals become like a magnet. And the bigger they are and the stronger they are and the longer the list and the more things you'd like to acquire during the course of your life, the stronger they pull. They pull you through. They pull you through. It's possible for you. Goals become like a magnet. They pull you through. They pull you through. Make sure that the greatest pull on you is the pull of the future. Not the pull of the past that keeps taking you back. Not the pull of gravity, like the present, that just keeps you sort of stuck where you are. We want to make sure that the greatest influence and pull on us is the pull of the future. Goals become like a magnet.
Okay. So I want to show you, has anyone ever seen this? I never have seen the kids playing these instruments, but 1877 Cars for Kids is oh, I forgot to share it. Has anyone ever seen this here? They may have not have seen the kids play, but if you've heard of 1877 Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, donate your car today. This shit here actually was a small hat scam. Isn't that wonderful? Another charity ends up just scamming people, using kids as a shield.
Other tune if you're someone who has listened to radio at some point in the past 30 years. In the most recent,
and this isn't so news is reporting on this, but I want to go, since he's a smaller channel like me called Moss Planet, and let's just see his take on it, and we'll pause it along the way.
Recent rendition.
I don't need to show you Fox News one of it. We can look at what he's saying about it.
Advertisement features a band of children with instruments that sing their awful,
which is creepy,
awful song, imploring you to donate your car, presumably for their own sake. It is a jingle so mentally taxing to the listener that it has led to literal death threats being sent to the organization.
Some like, oh, these kids are so cute, but then there was like, these kids should go kill themselves.
For kids, man, fuck Car for Kids. It's the most stupidest, annoying.
No, it is. It is. I remember this would keep me up. Yeah. I never really saw it on TV, but I heard it on the radio a lot. I remember I would listen to some conservative talk. I had one boss and would listen to conservative talk radio, like Rush Limbaugh and shit. And this would be on all the goddamn time, and especially in like the early 2000s.
Turn it off.
It was kind of like that a little bit, to be honest. The jingle itself is not really bad. I mean, it's creepy a little bit, but I never saw them playing the instruments.
Everybody hates this song so much to the point where most people associate the organization behind it with the omnipresent malice against their ears that the song is. But a lot of others end up donating their cars to these kids, enough to keep their ads on the air. The question is, where are these cars going, and how are they for these kids? To my disappointment, this was not a charity that gave children free vehicles with which...
Most charities are dog shit. In order to be a charity, you only have legally to be a charity, at least in the United States, you only have to give like 10% of what you bring in. Which means so like, and there's not much overhead. All the overhead comes from the donations, all the conferences, all the bullshit.
To fight each other.
Paying for advertising.
A fashion reminiscent of the Twisted Metal games. Instead, Cars for Kids takes donated vehicles and flips them at auto auctions. This isn't too unusual, and is a service that many people would rather just use to get a tax break instead of going through the hassle of selling their car by themselves. Despite the pitch of helping children and tax benefits being ostensibly hard to disagree with, the incredibly awful jingle has made Cars for Kids a charity everyone is sort of allowed to hate. What doesn't help with that reputation gained from the jingle is learning what Cars for Kids actually does with the money they receive. See, Cars for Kids doesn't actually give to any of the children you would think of as particularly in need. That's because the kids in question are being helped not because they are in need of charity, but because they are part of a religious group. Right on the Cars for Kids website, it clarifies that. Our all-encompassing program gives Jewish children and their families the support, resources, and guidance
they left that out of the song, didn't they?
Need to develop into productive members of the community.
I'm surprised Israel actually didn't send some money this way to help them. Guess it doesn't really work like that. Every time you turn around, these small hats are clipping your coin.
What the website doesn't clarify is that
this is the type of shit that gets them kicked out of countries and stuff.
These Jewish kids are almost exclusively in...
See, and notice how they don't really create value. They just take value and clip value.
New Jersey, the city of Lakewood in particular. I was surprised to learn that Cars for Kids was Jewish at first. Growing up in Minnesota, I heard that godforsaken jingle so many times, but had never heard about Cars for Kids from my Jewish friends, or saw any indication that any of the people at the Jewish community center I went to were supporting this seemingly omnipresent Jewish charity. It turns out I wasn't the only one in Minnesota that was confused by this. An investigation by the Minnesota Attorney General's
That's a pretty cool car.
office found that Cars for Kids spent essentially none of its raised money from Minnesota in the state on anything more than more ad buys. Cars for Kids has done a few programs helping the wider community. This mostly seems to manifest in handing out coats, basketballs, and developing an app that reminds you not to leave your children in a hot car. Looking at their website, these programs are either in Newark, New York City, or Philadelphia. Conveniently,
again, how many times have I said small hats are kind of like rats? Rats live in places like that where you must pay rent, and it's like someone else has already built it for you. They never live like somewhere rural. They can't survive there because they're like kind of parasitic by nature.
No more than a day trip from the headquarters of Cars for Kids in New Jersey. But this is all, at best, a half-assed attempt to argue on a technicality. In reality, 92% of the organization's cash is sent directly to another charity, URA, located in Lakewood, New Jersey, and run by Cars for Kids founder Eliyahu Mintz. There is functionally no difference between Cars for Kids and URA outside of paperwork and advertising. As a side note, I wouldn't feel qualified to write about this if I was just talking about URA, as I'm not a member of the Jewish community, nor have I had any personal interactions with Jewish people that prompted me to write this. The truth is that URA forfeited the deniability of being a religious organization, both when it got most of its money from Cars.
Wait. Jungle... What even is this? Jungle Fever? And they're just...
for kids, and when it didn't even register as one for tax purposes. URA doesn't offer its services to Jewish people outside the greater New York and New Jersey metro area. Less than 1% of the money stays in other states that donate.
Because you're a goy. They don't give it to you. We take from you. It's okay that we can take from you as much as you want because you're less than human. We're better than you. We're the chosen ones, not you. So we can take from you.
And besides, any charity
we don't take from each other, just you.
That is going to subject us to that awful jingle would already be one under intense legal scrutiny in a just system. I've actually been passively familiar with URA for a few years now. Like an unfortunately large number of things in my life, URA originally came to my attention via an episode of the Cumtown podcast, now the Adam Friedland Show. I'll get to what part of URA was in that clip.
I don't know what he's talking about
specifically, but if you know, you know. URA is itself a modern Orthodox Jewish charity that services said community. Modern Orthodox Judaism is defined by maintaining Orthodox traditions while still interacting with the modern world as it is. This is different from ultra-Orthodox or Haredi Judaism, whose adherents self-segregate from broader society to maintain their beliefs as authentically as possible. In terms of services offered, URA
they definitely believe that you're a goy.
Seems to focus mainly on, surprise, the younger generation, although not exclusively. This focus makes sense, given that Orthodox families have more children on average than any other Jewish denomination.
See, they already got them cooking the books.
In America, and the community has a general distrust of public institutions. They need a lot of cars to pay for these kids. It's for this reason that the charity exists, supposedly, as a means to provide the Orthodox community with help raising children through programs like day camp.
They just rip you off everywhere you go. Just don't trust these people.
I say supposedly because URA is unique even among shady charities for how strange it is. High-rise apartments, strip malls, and even mixed-use development in Jerusalem. Cars for Kids is already known to have some assets.
These kids their probably parents are wicked rich.
They're tangentially related to kids at best. When I looked at the tax returns for the two charities, a lot more than just buildings started to come up. I'll give you a rundown of a couple interesting finds. One property that URA owns is 985 Clare Drive in Lakewood, New Jersey.
And that's the one they rent out. It's like a rat's nest.
According to tax records, URA acquired this property in 2015. What's interesting is that the last time 985 Clare Drive was sold on the market was in 2009, according to Redfin. The property also isn't a facility, it's a single-family home. It's not the only single-family home owned by URA either. 851 Morris, 624 Vine, 107, and 119 Rutgers, all bought in 2008, all but one off the market since then. 107 was sold in 2022 for $85,000 more than
they bought them at the financial crisis.
Tax assessed value. I don't know what these are being used for, but the fact that Google Street View doesn't show any signs that these buildings are being converted into a non-residential role makes me think that there might be more going on. Another revelation from these forms is how much profit this nonprofit makes. 2021 revenue was $77,900,000.
Yeah, anytime. Well, it shouldn't be a surprise, you guys. We live in an inverted world. Charities like steal from you. So you go, you know what I'm saying? Hospitals and doctors sort of like make you worse. The food de-energizes you instead of nourishes you. Dentists fuck your teeth up. They don't fix your teeth. You know, to a degree. They don't do anything preventative. Our cars have stuff with planned obsolescence in them, things like this.
$77,049, up 62.5% from the previous year, while expenses of $28,251,610 represented a mere 7% rise. These numbers aren't unprecedented. Look at pretty much any college in the US, but still raise questions. More specifically, it makes you wonder what that $34 million in cash is doing just sitting there. For that, I have at least a partial answer. URA hosts a yearly charity auction in a live stream telethon format. During this telethon, URA gives out several prizes, many of them straight up cash, in a format that they call an auction, but is really just a raffle. Interspersing these auctions is a character.
It's money laundering.
I knew I was going to have to talk about eventually, and it filled me with a sense of dread. I already mentioned it earlier, but it's time to talk about...
Is anyone surprised that small hats are just out here ripping everyone off?
Five-ish. Five-ish is something else. As alluded to previously, I first heard about...
What the hell is this? What is this?
Five-ish from the then Cumtown podcast. Five-ish was being discussed because, well, this is what Five-ish looks like. Five-ish is a giant $5 bill with cartoon eyes and giant Mickey Mouse-like limbs. Essentially, he's sort of like the mascot of...
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Who goes around to their events and serves as
Jura,
what I think is supposed to be a sort of comic relief character. To quote a friend of mine who was on that episode,
see how they humiliate you with the printed money? Do you see what's happened? This is how you think. Oh my god. They're just going to humiliate you with the printed money. That's not backed by any gold or it's crazy.
episode of the aforementioned podcast. This is like if the Expendables of anti-Semitism came together to make something to make fun of Jews. Ura really likes using Five-ish. This isn't a mascot I dug up from years ago or something they tested out in
I've never heard of this.
Couple videos. Like, they really fucking love Five-ish. They love Five-ish so much that they have Five-ish as a plushie. Five-ish on a hat. President Five-ish. The Five-ish car or Five-ish mobile. Really shitty CGI Five-ish. Five-ish in Israel on the news.
What is that? Wait a minute. What?
They have Five-ish as a plushie. Five-ish on a hat.
Like a Crank Yankers one.
President Five-ish. The Five-ish car or Five-ish mobile. Really shitty CGI Five-ish. Five-ish in Israel on...
What is this? Oh my god. This is... I don't even know what to say, really.
On the news, Five-ish in Israel being harassed by other Orthodox Jews.
Gonna hurt you. Kenny's gonna hurt you.
That guy wants that $5 bad.
Five-ish and his Five-ish family being washed ashore and threatened by the military of Panama, being partially led by a knockout version of the Prince from Frozen.
Wow. I was saying get lit for the first culture as your operating system thing, but this is your operating system, is the printed money from these weird fucks. Holy crap.
Okay, why don't I start there at that last one? So, Ura commissioned or produced, I couldn't find exactly if it was done in-house, these animations featuring Five-ish. The intent is children's programming, which Ura refers to as Schmorg, as in smorgasbord. The most interesting Schmorg is one that is 38 minutes long and involves the aforementioned military of Panama. So the video starts, and after a short intro...
This is going to be straight up like the craziest propaganda program you've ever seen, probably.
We see three boys walk out of their bullet-ridden school onto the sidewalk. Two of the boys stop as the third boy asks where they're going. They say,
"We're going to visit Five-ish."
As all three boys blink their porcelain doll eyes to mimic human behaviors, a Cars for Kids branded taxi drives past and the scene moves on to another intro, except this one transitions into a theme song, an incredibly long theme song.
Also, they didn't have anyone else walking in any of these other places because they don't view non-small hats as human beings.
Visit Five-ish.
As all three boys blink their porcelain doll eyes to mimic human behaviors, a Cars for Kids branded taxi drives past and the scene moves on to another intro, except this one transitions into a theme song, an incredibly long theme song. In fact, I did some napkin math to find out that this theme song is a little under 2 minutes. For context, that is longer than the 1 minute, 36-second intro of the syndicated version of Twin Peaks. If you include the cold intro, it is about as long as the intro to Band of Brothers, and only 10 seconds shorter than the longest intro in TV language history, which is the cut intro to Twin Peaks. Look, it's a long intro. Rest in peace, David Lynch. The three boys finally arrive at Five-ish's house, where they inform him that they have anxiety that they won't be able to attend the yeshiva, religious school, that they want. It doesn't seem to be an inciting incident, really, or a stated reason that these boys are nervous. Nevertheless, Five-ish regales them with the story of when my friends and I were really scared. Now, even though this sounds like Five-ish is about to tell these whiny kids about his time in prison, that is unfortunately not the direction it goes. Five-ish is dropped off at the airport, does his...
I'm just wondering when Jeffrey Epstein's going to pop up.
Catskills material.
Wait. You forgot your change.
Change? What do you mean change? I need a change? Well, I mean, everybody could use a little bit of change. I'm not saying that.
Oh my god.
I mean,
and enters the building. Then, Five-ish is accosted by this overbearing TSA worker, who then waves him through. The worker then starts talking with another, more anthropomorphic Five-ish, who is bringing a kosher meal on the plane, but is told it looks too much like a bomb. They then strike up a conversation about what yeshiva they went to, for some reason. What makes this so bizarre is, for lack of a better term, it's sort of unskilled racism. Let me try to explain. So, the TSA worker speaks with some kind of accent. I say some kind because it's not clear what stereotype this man is supposed to
This is crazy, and it's like made very like low rent too.
Represent. He wears a yarmulke, which would imply he's Jewish, but he also punctuates his sentences with Arabic terms like Habibi.
Habibi, look at me. Do I look like a stewardess?
This accent is so thick that it could either be Israeli or some kind of approximation of Arabic. I say this because there's another Five-ish sketch showing an Arab terrorist going through security without issue. I think this man is supposed to be an overbearing Arab who accosts Five-ish who wants to bring a kosher meal on, but then they forgot and decided to add in some dialogue that makes him seem Israeli. After this, the Five-ishes get on their flight with El Al, the largest.
Well, hang on a second.
Then they forgot and decided to add in some dialogue that
I start to see airplanes coming up.
Makes him seem Israeli. After this, the Five.
Alvin. No. When I look at this, it makes me think of like I don't know. I don't want to.
Fishes get on their flight with El Al, the largest Israeli airliner, which then promptly crashes into the ocean because of.
I was gonna say crashes into the Twin Towers.
Engine breakage.
Enough reps for everyone. I know I should have done Hatovas Chaline this morning.
I thought this was funny because they clearly did not consult El Al for this, as most airlines do not like to be shown crashing into the ocean. In fact, this is sort of the main things airlines don't want people to think of when it comes to them. It then cuts to the French-British island colony of Bingsalou, which has the Panamanian flag for some reason. It's never really explained why the colony is both French and British. Maybe it's a Quebec situation.
This is crazy LSD trip stuff.
The island is ruled by some sort of 17th century colonial merchant who I'll call the king, and an Xbox 360 version of the prince from Frozen named Franco. The king is being entertained by scuba divers who are hitting a ball that...
Remember, this is like a kid's cartoon thing for small hats.
Literally just has the default texture on it. No, I'm not kidding. That's just the default texture from Gary's mod.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Well, when I saw that Alvin thing, what came to my mind was like 11 and 7, because see how it has like 7s here, but it almost seems like it says 11. So like on 9/11, like building 7, it was one of them. I don't know. That's kind of what it made me think of. So I didn't know this would go on this type of tangent. I was trying to look about the Cars for Kids thing, but now we're off like on this weird shit.
Big 5 survivors. There are actually people on the plane, by the way, real humans that... Wait, is that Go Animate? No, I swear to fucking God, they use Go Animate assets on this thing. I don't even know how that's easier, honestly. They didn't animate them. They just love the Go Animate assets so much that they need them to be there. I just had to mention that. I'm sorry. Anyway, the Five-ishes wash up on the beach, sing a song, and get reprimanded.
Woo! Yeah! Prepare for war. The French.
The next most interesting thing to happen is when Lord Farquaad shows up. A lot of exposition occurs, there's a song, yada yada yada. The Five-ish congregation finds themselves trapped at the royal palace, where, after a musical number...
Wait a minute. Let me explain.
Again, this is printed money that's...
With a song. Hit it! Do eagle and clam chowder or gefilte fish? It's not...
What the Oh my God.
Too difficult to call. Why eat crab cakes or octopus instead of soup with matzo balls?
get beckoned by a man named Moishe, a quote,
This
Jew
is
just like you.
insane.
This confirms that Fivish is a full part of the religion and that Ura wants children to know that money can indeed become Jewish. Moishe then tells them they don't like Jews here, which you would think is a prejudice that would fall away after a while, but apparently is very deeply held. There also isn't any mention by any other islander made about Jews, which makes me think that Moishe is just a guy who sucks and is disliked for different reasons and just attributes it to anti-Semitism. I also wanted to mention that Moishe's outfit is weirdly specific. Not in its details, those are fairly...
Why is it weirdly specific? What's he going to say? Who does he look like or resemble? Basically that guy from World War II. That's what he's going to hint at. I can tell you right now.
Scant, but the fact that it seems to include an Austro-Hungarian military ski cap for some reason, I found very bizarre. I don't note this because it's particularly important, but rather because it raises questions as to where they got his model from. Of all the models on all the asset stores, why it was an Austrian mountaineer circa 1915 that was chosen, I have no idea. Why instead did they not choose any other kind of generic soldier? And why did they choose something that I only recognize because I play way too many Hearts of Iron 4 mods? Anyway, the Fivish-I, anyway, try to escape before being captured and taken back to chicken wire fences.
Get in there with the chickens.
I don't know, maybe this is really cool when you're like crazy lit.
Which is another thing about the supposedly lost colony I found strangely reminiscent of the industrial nature of the Holocaust. But just as the Fivishes are going to be put on trial, a helicopter piloted by Boris, another Fivish, swoops down to announce their arrest. In exchange, the islanders are offered a large chest of coins that the king is told are apparently edible.
They're very good, Your Highness. You'll like them. They're shiny, valuable, but most importantly, edible.
I don't know. That then finally concludes our Fivish story in the animated realm, but it continues into the aforementioned auction. Every year, Ura hosts a charity...
So that somehow is tied to this charity, then you have this guy come here.
Auction that is really just a raffle. It's almost comically corrupt in terms of prizes offered to the point where it's basically just gambling. Just as I watched the Fivish TV show, I also watched the Fivish charity from 2023 and recorded what happened during it. I've been to a couple charity auctions myself. My memory consists mainly of watching people bid on gift baskets, memorabilia, or gift cards to sums of maybe $300 at the most. They were social events, either for a public school or a local nonprofit, where donors came to mingle.
Yeah, like part of the problem is like if you want to donate for something or help out, you can, but you do it. You don't have to just give it to a charity. You know what I mean? Like you can bring cans of wet food down to the local animal shelter. You can give somebody some of your time. You can do other things like that. I'm telling you, these charities are mostly all bullshit. This is the Car for Kids charity, but another one that was really bullshit was the pink, that pink ribbon breast cancer research one. Those are frauds too. Like I said, they're only legally obligated to give 10% of the charity. So basically 90% they can take it legally. What's up, Law and Course? So they can take like 90% of that legally. They can take that. And I guarantee you they came up with these, ideas.
Ura also does charity auctions, but the way they organize
and they don't tax it.
These events is in another galaxy compared to my experience and the experience of many others. I'm just going to cover the auction in telethon for now, but the online auction is both the easiest and hardest to explain. So it's not unheard of to pick up an item at a charity auction for below market rate. That's sometimes the incentive. For example, you buy a rare baseball card that got donated to a charity auction. There's some upsides to the benefiting institution in terms of taxes and ease of processing. Ura takes it to a completely new level. Ura auctions themselves don't work like auctions at all. Like I said,
it's just going to be money laundering. I'm telling you. I mean, look at how they mock you.
A sweepstakes or raffle where donors buy tickets that are then randomly drawn. The other main difference is the prizes. Where others have donated items with somewhat subjective market price, Ura charity auctions seem to primarily have a different kind of prize. Cash, not collectible buffalo nickels, not a $2 bill signed by Richard Nixon.
Oh, if it's a coin, it's clipped. We know that.
Large sums of
They're clipping coins here.
Money that Ura gives to its winner. Of the 49 potential prizes, 15 of them were just money. That doesn't include the other prizes. many of which were just a step removed from being a transfer of money. Here's a list of the auction items
it's money laundering.
You can win for as little as $5.
So they also do this with modern art too. Maybe they'll even include that in here. So a lot of modern art is just money laundering. It'll be like, here's a painting, and that painting, you know, it looks like shit, but what happens is someone will buy it for $900,000, and then someone will buy it for like $980. Then someone buys it for 1.1 million, whatever the number is. They create sort of a fake value. Then someone else, who's a sucker, comes along thinking that the price is going to continue to go up as it ages and stuff like that, and then they got beat. And the charities are one of the ways that they move these paintings to move the money around that they've taken from you.
Dollars that are just straight up, undeniably money. In fact, one host points out that one winner spent $500 on tickets and made their money back 100 times over. Here's a short list of 15 prizes. $25,000 cash, $7,000 Visa gift card, $5-ish cash, which is $5,555, $100,000 bonus, daily cash, $50 a day for 6 months for $9,000 in total. $7,000 MasterCard. Weekly each, $100 a week for 1 year, or $5,200.
Again, that was from a charity that's supposed to be helping kids.
$36,000.
And this goddamn
Big
$5
check,
bill,
which is $6,130. Investment portfolio, parentheses, $10,000. $18,000 cash. Pick 50K. Allows you to pick one of 5 hidden cards, each worth $5, $50, $500, $5,000, or $50,000. Yearly cash, $1,000 every year for 10 years, for a total of $10,000. Instant 50K for $50,000. 10 of the 50 prizes are some form of guarantee and help paying for a specific bill or expense with a listed value. Choice items from that selection include rent and mortgage, an Amazon spree, and, quote, living expenses. 6 prizes.
Of course, rent. They're landlords. Oops.
To Israel, either for a holiday or just covering the ticket price of a dozen people. 11 prizes are what I would consider to be
and they're not taking Spirit Airline either.
Desirable for most people, even outside the community URA serves. These include items such as a Toyota Sienna, a fine silver, or a vacation anywhere.
They love minivans. They really do. I'm pretty sure that's what Toyota Sienna is.
I also have to mention what is by far the strangest item in the last list on that count, which is $8,500 that goes towards a bunker or safe room on your property. Well, myself, a Gentile, I never felt like having a secured bunker in your backyard is something that would be more appealing to the Jewish people I know. I mean, if I got offered a bunker for $5, would I turn it down? The answer doesn't have much to do with my ethnicity or religion, and really is just more a question of how cool I think having a bunker would be. The final 7 items are the only one I could find that were related to the local Orthodox community. These include things like a Sefer Torah and a year of $200 every week towards Shabbos. One prize among these is the so-called Loser's Prize, which is a limited edition sweatshirt which features 5-ish, surrounded by I'm a Winner, URA 2023 auction.
Oh my god.
Another part of the live
they even mock each other.
Stream that I wanted to talk about was an advertisement for another URA organization that shows up.
So the reason why they're bringing up this URA organization is they're the ones that were doing this. Let me just bring it back to earth here a little bit. They're the ones who basically are behind this.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Anna Marsick.
Just as a refresher.
The time on the West Coast is just after 2:30 p.m. Our next story takes us out to California. This ex-post coming from SF Gate saying the Cars for Kids...
Let me fast forward this just a little bit here so I don't get copyright.
Jingle is no more in California, at least for now. An Orange County judge banning the charity's ads statewide after finding they violated...
When a California judge bans something, you know that it's pretty goddamn bad.
Advertising laws saying the spots hid where the money actually goes and who it benefits. You know the famous jingle, but it has just been permanently silenced on California airwaves. 1877 Cars for Kids. A state judge banning Cars for Kids commercials, ruling the charity violated false advertising laws by intentionally misleading donors. The court found the ads hid a crucial fact. Donations from Californians are not going to local kids, but primarily fund Orthodox Jewish youth programs thousands of miles away in New York and New Jersey. So joining us today to break down what we learned is attorney and legal expert Nima Romani. Thanks so much for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me, Anna. I was born in Orange County and I've lived my whole life in California, so I've been hearing this jingle my entire life.
I was going to say you're probably pretty familiar with
I mean, I've heard it. I never even been to California. I've heard it a lot.
it. Are you sad to see it go?
No, I'm actually happy. Maybe because it's so annoying, but now that I know that it's potentially misleading and fraudulent, it even makes more sense. I mean, one thing about California
Oh, no, it's not potentially. It is. And you were stolen from, but people don't want to admit it.
Consumer friendly. So anything that may leave a wrong impression on the consumer, doesn't matter if it's an outright misstatement or in this particular case, an omission. As long as the net effect on the consumer is a misleading one, it is going to be enjoined and you may see money damages, which of course is what happened here.
See how they put kids at the front of it? How sick this is?
How rare and significant is it for a state court to issue a permanent
and they're just
advertising ban
not
against
even
the
saying it. They're probably
national
lip
charities
syncing
under
it.
that unfair competition law?
It is pretty rare because oftentimes what you'll see is you'll see restitution, money towards the victims. Obviously, in a case like this, there's been a lot of donors. This ad has been running for quite some time. There's already a class action lawsuit. But when you see a statewide injunction, that means that this particular judge at least thought that the advertisement was very misleading. And look, you have these young kids and the money's going to older kids, not going to kids here in California, out of state, maybe even out of the country. Obviously, there's nothing here that indicates that it's a religious charity. So it seems pretty deceptive on its face. So I'm not surprised we saw that injunction. Obviously, a lot of bad press.
Crazy deceptive on its face. So that is basically these guys here are the ones behind it, and they're doing this lottery to get rid of the money.
And by being an URA organization,
or to redistribute the money to their buddies,
it is inherently one that is funded by Cars for Kids. Rebbitzins, I think I'm pronouncing that right, is a site that facilitates the traditional Orthodox Jewish shidduch, where young singles are matched with each other by members of the community. For a religious group that is strictly divided along gender lines and does not evangelize itself, the shidduch is a method for maintaining this tight social cohesion. In essence, the shidduch system is one of the only institutional forms of arranged marriage still in the United States. The shidduch is also a model.
I don't know who David
crisis,
Irving is.
creatively named the shidduch crisis.
I can look a picture of him though. I might
fear
know
that
like
there's a
what he looks
decline in
like
the
or
number of
something.
marriages overall, which is being spearheaded by a drop in shidduch marriages. Looking into this, the conclusion that I saw reached by observers is that a high dropout rate of the religion, pickiness by parents, and the generally dehumanizing nature of having your partner pick for you as technology tears down more social barriers are contributing to this crisis. Men are also less willing to marry, which combines with the higher male tendency for leaving Orthodox Judaism to make women in the shidduch system much more susceptible to being objectified.
I just looked up who
both
he
by
is.
potential partners and often the woman's own parents trying to sell her in a buyer's market. Rebbitzins seeks to fix part of that crisis by providing a more streamlined and supportive shidduch process to parents.
Yeah, like I said, some things with history, I don't really know a ton about, so I don't really do a lot of shows on it because I don't have as much to comment on. I'm a little bit better at like predicting what will happen. I know like a little bit of like, not crazy old history, but some stuff. Yeah, I just looked them up. So I'm gonna complete this. The time is 3:04 right now on the video too, and we'll call this the 304K or 3.04 K subscriber special.
In the promo played during the telethon, it is made clear that the purpose of Rebbitzins is to reinforce the shidduch system with their services. Despite a red background that brings to mind online dating services and romantic music, Rebbitzins is part of a deeply conservative tradition. As I previously mentioned, the shidduch system does not favor women. More than just the demographic.
You guys being in for these live stream really helps me get the view hours up. I'm almost enough to be like monetized, which would really be dope. Once I get monetized, I really will. I mean, I guess this past week I had like food poisoning, so I really put like a ton of time into YouTube. That's how I was able to get a lot of subscribers. But I really want to, make some very polished shows. So like the hanging out on the show is cool, but also make some really good polished shows and other types of content as well. And like some of them are serious, but some of them I really want to work on being funny as well.
issues that
or to give a lot of that.
Women outnumber men in the community. Women who are married using the shidduch system are being placed firmly inside a deeply patriarchal community structure. The most standing example of this fact is that Orthodox Jewish women are generally not allowed to seek a divorce. Only their husband can initiate that process. This can result in creative solutions where gangs of Orthodox men are hired on behalf of Orthodox women unsatisfied with their marriages to kidnap and convince the husbands who are refusing this divorce. The practice was the subject of the third episode of The Sopranos.
Called Hasidim. I see him, but I don't believe him. What's he want, this titleman? It was a divorce for his daughter. You know about this shit?
Run. Huh? Trust me. You don't want to do business with these people.
With the small hats, yep.
He said there's 25 large in it if we can get him this here guy.
You know, there's an old saying amongst Jews. When a Jew gets a divorce, even the altar sheds tears.
Unfortunately, most Orthodox women aren't able to hire.
So, I want you to look at just one other thing too here. I want to change it from that because that's pretty much where the Cars for Kids thing went. But this is a pretty interesting video too. We're going to play this, then I'm going to do like one other inspirational music videos or so. And then I need to call it a night because I have a pretty big job tomorrow.
It was the NSF at C4 the statue in the first place. UNATCO's here to put the pieces back together.
This is a computer game that says a lot of real stuff. So sometimes in computer games and video games and stuff too, it's a medium where they can kind of say a lot and not be censored as much, or at least used to be.
Ask me, I think the government did it. They want people to think the NSF are terrorists.
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth. Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%. The entire executive branch is hand-picked. 19 of the last 23 U.S. presidents have been members of the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is financed by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Did you ever ask what it's for? The surveillance, the police, the shoot-on-sight laws. Is that freedom? The more of us you kill, the more that secessionism lives in the hearts of the people. Ever wonder why big car companies pay 2% tax while the guys on the assembly line pay 40%? Corporations are so big you don't even know who you're working for. That's terror. Terror built into the system.
Need I remind you that in the case of a national emergency, FEMA has a list of 6 million Americans who will be transported to detention centers? Your tabloids call it RX-80.
And speaking of FEMA centers and stuff like that, don't think these data centers aren't going to have some type of, FEMA camp in them or something like that too. They're building something really big, and sometimes I think they're also some type of FEMA camp thing as well.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
Including the President, Congress, and the Supreme Court.
In my position, I find it very easy to add names to that list.
The whole project of world government, going back to the League of Nations, has been funded and manipulated mainly by wealthy bankers. Remember that the UN itself was built on land donated by John D. Rockefeller. The wealthy have always been the ones to profit from one world government. The United Nations' secret goal, well, this is David Rockefeller's description from a half a century ago. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers.
Everything's so compartmentalized.
Kaczynski was right about the division of labor. I'll give it that much.
Ted Kaczynski, who we've covered his manifesto a bit on this show.
Who puts the pieces together?
Someone who makes a lot more money than we do.
The West, so afraid of strong government, now has no government, only financial power.
Our governments have limited power by design.
Rhetoric? You believe it? Don't you know where these slogans come from? Well-paid researchers. How do you say it? Think tanks? Funded by big businesses. What is that? A think tank? Privately funded propaganda. The Trilateral Commission in the United States, for instance.
People know the government has a vaccine. Riots everywhere. The same corporation that makes ambrosia also manufactures the virus. Quite convenient. They're infecting people on purpose, huh?
Executive Order 10990. It lets us take over all modes of transportation.
FEMA can do that?
If the president declares an emergency, Executive Order 1099 or 5, we can take over the media.
All of it?
Any and all. Executive Order 1099 or 7, we can take command of natural resources.
RX-84.
What's that?
One of the plans. You haven't heard of RX-84?
Uh-huh.
FEMA takes over the highways, police, airports, media, the armed forces.
But they still report to the president, right?
Not until the end of the emergency. That's for efficiency. Also, they have plans on the books to arrest 5 million Americans the day the emergency is declared.
Terrorists?
Immigrants mostly. But also anyone the FBI has been watching.
I have seen it since I was a girl, the plotting and scheming of corporations to make Europe into one big country with no separate languages, cultures, or tastes.
It's more than Europe they plan to unify. Some people just don't understand the dangers of indiscriminate surveillance.
Oops. I don't know what that prank call is. So I need to call it a night because it is basically midnight. I'm going to end it with some music to close it out.
From a negative experience, sometimes we
Sorry.
Mess it up. Do it right. What you don't know will hurt you. So learn
Thanks so
from
much
your
for being here, guys.
negative
Showing
as well
up.
as your positive experiences. Make life worthwhile.
All the viewership, the suggestions about
You gotta
everything.
know. Life is worthwhile if you learn.
The feedback, comments on here.
You gotta know. You gotta have the information. When I talk to the kids in school, that's
I'm really
what I say.
having a
Get
lot
the
of fun
information
having
while
this
you're
channel.
here. What you're gonna do with it, that's up to you.
I hope maybe
Throw it all
you
away, that's up to you. Just use a little of it, that's up to you.
were
But
able
while
to
you're
learn
here,
something
get it
or
all. There's nothing
expand
worse
the way
than
you
being
think.
stupid.
And the next show will make more of a funny one, I guess.
Being broke is bad, but
Thanks
stupid
so much,
is really
guys.
bad. So
Have a
get
great
the
night.
information.
Let's let this
What's
play
really,
out.
really bad is being broke and stupid. Nothing worse than being stupid, unless you're sick. That would do it. Sick, broke, and stupid. That's about as far as you can fall, unless you're ugly. You're ugly. Being broke is bad, but stupid is really bad. So get the information. Ugly, sick, broken, stupid. That's the ultimate
Hi, Lauren.
negative
Thank
life.
you for showing up, being involved in the show. Appreciate it.
So jot this down now.
Came with time to think.
What you don't know will hurt you. Jot this down now. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is tragedy. Ignorance is illness. Ignorance is devastation.
Others that are in here.
Ignorance is
Thanks so
going
much.
broke. Creates a poor life. You got to have the information. So you got to know. You got to have the information. Learn from your personal experience. One way to learn to do it right is first mess it up and do it wrong. That doesn't mean it's the end of your life. Do it right. So just, clean up the mess. Now do it right. From a negative experience, sometimes we learn to do the positive things that saves our life and makes us successful. They say if you survive your first heart attack, if you survive, you may now live to be a very old person. That first heart attack was a wake-up call. And then maybe the doctor said, another one of these in your history. And you say, wow. And you make it for the health food store. And you start reading every book you can read on health and nutrition. And you start doing the push-ups and you start jogging on the beach and doing all the stuff. And all of that change now could very well help you to live a long, long life. Having been alerted in an alarm system that serves you well. So learn from your negative as well as your positive experiences. From a negative experience, sometimes we learn to do the positive things that saves our life and makes us successful. Make life worthwhile. So learn from your negative as well as your positive experiences.